Good evening, my friend, and welcome to the biggest event in all of esports tonight. The massive Petey 200 is taking place here from the Irish Hills of Michigan. My name is Petey J. Zeller, the voice and vice president of Xcal Racing, as we are getting ready to go at it for 200 miles, 100 laps, $2,545 on the line, and a butt kicker game or two device, all to be settled here on the high banks of Michigan. Welcome to the broadcast booth. Here is the broadcast team for tonight. We're going to have Doug Burns running the cameras and doing the color commentary tonight. Down on pit road, we will have Ryan Soper as we are getting ready to get things underway here. We have about 23 minutes before we go green, but that's okay because we have a ton of things to go over. We want to go down on pit road, try to catch up with a lot of these drivers here, and we're going to go over a few things. But I want to take it down to pit road right now where Ryan Soper is. And Ryan, you're down on pit road, and you're actually a driver who has raced in the past on the high banks of Michigan Speedway. Tell me a little bit about the type of racing we can expect to see on a track like this with these cars.
On a track like this, Petey, these cars, they are we're going to see side-by-side racing, lots of it.
And that is indeed sure, Ryan. So that's going to be Ryan Soper. He'll be down on pit road tonight, getting us all the good action down there, making his pit road debut here. We're going to try to talk to a few drivers before we get this thing underway, and I'm going to start out with getting an interview with a man who actually transferred in from heat number 1, and I'm down here on pit road right now with Joe Campbell, and Joe, you transferred in heat number 1, and now you're getting ready to go racing the massive Petey 200. I got to ask you here, Joe, we're live on the broadcast, my friend. How excited are you to be part of this huge esport event we got going on here tonight?
Oh, man, I've been looking so forward to this. This weekend's been a blast. Had a couple rough goes at it, but made it in and going to give it our best tonight, see what happens.
Yeah, Joe, I got to ask you, you're going to obviously be starting fairly in the middle of the pack tonight. So what is the game plan here for you, Joe, tonight? Do you plan on trying to make your way up towards the front early on, or are you just going to try to hang out around your 28 starting position and wait till later in the race after pit stops to make your charge? Or what's the game plan here on the 63 car?
Well, we're going to definitely play it safe for a while, no doubt. Whether or not that means going to the front or hanging out where we are, we're going to make that determination once the race gets going and we see how everybody's driving. If it's all staying clean and good, and probably just ride around where we're at for the moment. And when it's go time, though, it's go time, and we're coming.
All right, well, thank you, Joe. Before I let you go catch up with your team, Joe, who would you like to thank? Sponsors, crew, teammates, there anyone I'd like to give a shout-out to?
I would like to thank all the drivers at JNS. I know some of the guys had a rough go and aren't with us on the track tonight, but they are here with us. And a huge thank you to Gerald Poole. That guy, we can't thank him enough for everything he does with paint schemes and sponsorships, and just a great guy. I can't say enough about that, man.
All right, well, good luck tonight, Joe. Hopefully we'll have a chance to talk to you later tonight, maybe from Victory Lane.
Thank you, Petey.
All right, that was Joe Campbell. He'll be starting the 28th starting position. And now we have Pistol Pud Ryan Soper. He is down on pit road. He is caught up with Chase Johnson.
Hi, Chase. What is your exciting for this race tonight?
Well, I look going straight to the front, getting up there with my teammates early, and after that, just start running behind my teammates and start same field.
All right, what line do you prefer, Chase?
Definitely for sure the middle. If you look in the preliminary, I always wanted to be in the middle. I never came down, try to get in the bottom lane to try to block it. I'd rather prefer to be in the middle. I think it helps you stay out of wrecks sometimes. It helps you stay in the lead. It's just better overall. It helps save your tires from the other lanes. It's definitely a lot better.
And Chase, would you rather push or be pushed this race?
Either one. I can do either one. I feel like I'm a better pusher than what I am to be able to be pushed. So obviously I want to be out front and lead laps, and that's probably what I'm going to shoot for the last 100 laps or so.
Now, while pitting, is there a thought in your mind that happens about if tires will make a difference, and what will you do there?
If a caution comes out, yeah, I'm probably going to pit for tires. I think it does make a difference, especially for how long these runs are going to be. I don't expect a caution until late in the race, probably around like 150 to anywhere to around like 195. I think it's going to be a good, entertaining race for the fans. It's going to be pretty exciting.
All right, and any last words on any sponsors or crew members or anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank JD Custom Paints, Edward Setup Shop, and Fastline Motorsports, and most of all, Jeff Edgar for giving me this ride this year and helping me run this race.
Good luck, Chase. Hopefully we'll talk you to from Victory Lane later tonight. And back up to you, Petey.
All right, thank you there, Ryan, down on pit road once again, Ryan Soper. And now I want to bring in the third, well, technically the second member of our broadcast team, but the third one to be introduced here, Doug Burns. And, well, Doug, you and me have been covering this event all weekend long. It's been intense racing. We've whittled it down from 103 drivers to the 43 that will be competing tonight for the $2,500 in Butt Kicker Gamer 2 unit. What are you expecting here tonight, Doug? What do you think how high octane do you think the energy will be in the big enchilada here?
You know what? I think what we're going to see is probably the back half of the field get very aggressive very early. I think it'll settle down mid-race. Things will be pretty patient, pretty calm. I would expect one or two early cautions, some drivers to be taken out. Probably one or two late cautions, and we talk about it Daytona, Talladega, but it came up last night for sure in the heats. The big one, if anything goes wrong at the front, a lot of top drivers could be taken out. So everybody on track tonight is getting paid, but this could get very, very dicey. Like I said, I expect some calm points, but I think it's going to be higher octane than we've seen all week long.
All right. And now, Doug, I believe you are down on pit road. I think you've caught up with your old friend Edmund Jones for a little bit of a pre-race interview.
Hey, Edmund, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How about you, Doug?
Hey, man, I'm doing good. First off, your wife is cheering you on, buddy, and I know you've got a lot of guys behind you. How are you feeling about tonight and your chances here?
It's just going to be a war of attrition. That's how I'm coming into it. I'm surprised I even made the feature on the provisional time, and so I'm just happy to be here right now. Starting 36, just hoping to avoid any wrecks that may happen in front of me.
Well, I know you've got some friends out there. Is there anybody you're looking for early in the race to kind of hang out with and play it safe with until late in the run?
Not particularly early in the run. I'm going to go with just about anybody I can. I don't have very many guys around me that I have worked with before, so it's going to be difficult just getting used to the guys. But we're just going to play it safe and see how the flow of the race goes.
And you are going to be one of the newest owners in Xcal this season. So has this weekend, the overall weekend, been quite the learning experience for you?
It's been a great learning experience. And, even though this isn't as long as what a normal Xcal event would be, it's getting used to it as a driver as well. And just being around, the great admins of Xcal and talking with other owners and other drivers, it's been just an amazing learning experience. The only thing I wish is my other driver would be able to get in here, but he's been busy all weekend and wasn't able to compete, so we'll have to catch him up to speed later on.
All right, man. Good luck tonight. Anybody you'd like to thank or give a shout out to before you get out there on track?
Yeah, hey, EHP, Edwards High Performance, they've been a huge help in getting me acclimated to this section, and, great group of guys, thanks to Dad, Tika, all the kids watching, Andrew, Joseph, Jackson, everybody that's got my back right now. I feel the support and I love it.
All right, man. Congratulations. The wife is cheering you on once again. Good luck out there tonight, buddy.
Hey, thanks, Doug.
All right, so thank you to Edmund Jones there for his quick words. And sorry, it took me a second there to get my mic turned on. But I'm down here on pit road now with an old friend of mine, actually. I've caught up with the Helmet Kenny Tripp. And Kenny, you transferred in the final heat race, heat number 3. Looks like you're getting warmed up right now, getting ready to go at it for the $2,500 purse tonight. Buck Kicker Gamer 2 unit on the line here in the massive well, PD 200. I got to ask you, Kenny, just how exciting is it there to be part of this event here tonight and, qualify in with so many guys going home? You're one of the lucky ones to make it in.
Yeah, it was definitely tough. Definitely glad I made it in. I didn't think I was actually going to until that last lap incident of the last heat race. So definitely thankful. Starting out back, which I'm fine with. Just working on pit stops now. I struggled all last year with pit stops, whether speeding in, speeding out, missing my pit stop. I just got to work on that a little bit. But no, I'm excited. Gonna lay low and see what we can do to get a decent finish.
Yeah, that's actually my next question for you, Kenny. So like you said, you're starting near the back of the field. So kind of what's the game plan here for you? Do you just want to hang out back, ride it out, not get too hairy early on, and then maybe wait till after that pit stop to start making your moves? Or do you have like a specific field position you want to be in? I got to ask you, what's the game plan here early in the race?
The only game plan I have right now is to don't do anything for the first quarter. Anyways, 25 laps. I just plan on riding the back, keeping in the pack, so I don't lose the draft. But other than that, I don't plan on much at all.
All right, now the following question is kind of a follow-up to that question, too. I know you have your very good buddies Josh Doobie and Pat Sullivan in the field here tonight. Let me ask you, do you think that at some point in the race, you three are going to try to get hooked up together and maybe make moves? Do you think teamwork will be a big factor in this one?
Oh, I think help definitely will help. Hopefully that's the game plan. All three of us be in at the end so we can be able to, get the bumpers together and hopefully make something happen. But we got to get to the end first. We also have Tyler Batchelor helping us out from the spotter stand, so hopefully that helps.
All right, well, Kenny, thank you for taking a moment to talk with me. Before I let you go catch up with your team once again, I got to ask you, are there any teammates, sponsors, crew, anything like that you'd like to give a shout-out to here?
Yeah, just the whole crew. Josh, Tyler, Tyler Jublett, he unfortunately didn't make the race, but Pat Sullivan, Main Mobile Truck Service, he sponsored my car all last year, which was actually Josh Doobie. Thank him for that. It was a lot of fun, and just here to have fun tonight, trying to stay calm, stay cool, and just make the best of it.
Oh, all right, Kenny. Well, thank you for taking a moment to talk with us here on the broadcast. Best of luck. Hopefully we'll talk to you later on. That was Kenny the Helmet Tripp. As now we're going to send it back down on pit road to Ryan Soper, where I believe Ryan has caught up with Ricky LeDuc.
Yes, Petey, I'm down here with Ricky LeDuc. Ricky, how intense do you expect the racing to be in the early laps here today?
Hey, I expect to be pretty intense. The prelim races and the heat races were intense, honestly. It's not a hard track to drive as far as just physical on the driver, but when you're in a group 3 wide all the way to the front to the back, it's pretty intense.
And do you plan on racing up front early tonight, or do you just plan on sticking it out in the back, waiting for the big one to happen, and then charging up to the front later in the race?
Well, I believe we start 12th. I definitely plan on staying up there. Definitely can't make any too big moves, but you got to stay up there because it's a huge field and there's hardly no room to pass when everybody's 3 wide and bunched up like that. So definitely got to stay up there.
All right, and while you're doing your pit stop today, is there any strategy going on with no tires, 2 tires, or 4 tires? What's the plan?
That's a good call. It just depends if we get a pit stop under green or caution. I think you're definitely going to want minimum 2 tires. I mean, I haven't really tested that theory out yet, but just judging by how these cars go through the corner, they definitely use the tires pretty good. So I can't see using that same set of tires for 100 laps straight.
All right, and finally, would you like to thank anyone else, any sponsors, team, crew, before we send you back up to your team?
Yeah, I gotta thank real life and sim sponsors, Corliss Signs, Ritterman Oil, Long Barn Performance, Gull Lake Marina. Them guys always help me out on the real car, and when we do stuff like this, and definitely you guys at Xcal. This is a awesome event. Thanks for putting this on. This is should be a lot of fun.
All right, good luck, Ricky. Hopefully, we'll talk to you from
Thank
Victory
you.
Lane later tonight. All right, and back
I'm
to you,
hoping so.
Petey, up in the booth.
All right, thank you so much, Ricky, for those words. Thank you, Ryan, for that interview there. As now we're back up here with me and Doug. And Doug, we just climbed up the ladder, got back into the press box. I see you're cracking open a cold one over there. I think I might have to join you in that. As 100 laps, it's going to be intense here tonight, Doug. Last night we saw 3, 4, even at times 5 wide racing, Doug. Early in this race, though, I expected to maybe stay a tame 3 wide for a while, but when those last 10 laps, Doug, the gloves come off and the heavyweight blows start to land.
It's funny when we say tame 3 wide, but yeah, you're right. We did see a lot of 4 wide and several attempts at 5 wide. Most of them guys backed out at the last minute, but I guarantee you we get down to the last 25 laps, guys are not going to be backing out of anything. You heard some of the drivers say it is tough to pass once everybody's 3 wide. And we've got teammates out there that'll be working together. We've seen teams get to the front and be able to hold all 3 lines for a while and give themselves the advantage. And then there's going to be the drivers that realize that's coming. They're going to be working to get around them. There is not going to be a lot of patience late in this race. And you're seeing 4 wide on track right now just during practice. Guarantee you we're going to see 4 wide for the last 25. And maybe even 5 wide for several laps. We saw 4 wide in practice Friday for 5 laps before they had an incident, but I don't think they could stay 5 wide that long.
All right, and quickly, I want to get one more interview here before we do go off and get ready to get this race underway. And that interview I want to do is with outside pole setter John Palermo, who will be starting on the outside of the front row here. So I'm going to send it down on pit road to Ryan Soper, where I believe he's caught up to our second place starter tonight, John Palermo.
Yes, I have, Petey. John, do you plan on holding the top spot early tonight, or do you plan on dropping back to the end and taking it easy?
Basically, I don't know. I'm just gonna play my cards right and hopefully work mostly up front. And if it's possible, and if I go to the back, I go to the back, stay to the back. We got a big field here today. I mean, there's no fast strip here, so we all obviously got to be careful. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun time, and hopefully I'll get that 2,500.
All right, and do you think the outside or the inside will be the place to be tonight?
Basically, you don't know. I mean, in the heat racing, it's basically both lanes. I mean, if you get a good run on the outside and duck on the inside, you can basically hold it there maybe for a half a lap or 2. And basically that's it. But mostly it's going to be on the outside. If you get a really good run and you're on the inside, that's a good, it's good for you.
All right, and finally, would there be any sponsors, crew, family members, anyone you'd like to thank before I send it back up to Petey?
I'd like to thank CDH Paint and Setup Shop for sponsoring me, and hopefully I get the win for them today.
All right. Good luck. Hopefully we'll see you in Victory Lane tonight. And back up to you, Petey.
Thank you there, Ryan. And now I quickly want to go over a few sponsors here real quick, give all them their rightful due shout-outs. So quick shout-out here, of course, to Butt Kicker. Butt Kicker, feel what you've been missing. You can use code Xcal20 on the buttkicker.com website to get 20% off your Butt Kicker Gamer 2 device. The Butt Kicker Gamer 2 really adds a lot to your sim rig. It has real-time vibrations like your car will be vibrating in reality. It's very cool. In the winter tonight, we'll be getting a Butt Kicker Gamer 2. Thank you to the Tri-E Inc. Cooler Crew. If you need a walk-in cooler built, be sure to hit up Jeff Edgar and the boys over at the Cooler Crew. They do fantastic work, very reasonable rates, and they're hard-working guys, the Tri-E Inc. Cooler Crew. JT's Mobile Pressure Washing out of Ohio. If you need pressure washing done in that scum blasted in the Ohio region, hit up John Friley and the guy at JT's Mobile Pressure Washing. They do the best pressure washing in the business. Of course, Sim Racer Hub, formerly known as Dan Lisa, they are the place to go for storing all of your sim racing stats. There is not a better website for organizing those sim racing statistics than Sim Racer Hub. The custom fix setup tonight was prepared by the Edward Setup Shop. The Edward Setup Shop on Discord is a free-to-use setup shop. They give you quality race-winning setups for absolutely free. There is the option to donate, which helps fund Austin Edwards' racing career. He really appreciates if you can help donate. But if you can't afford a lot of money and you want a good setup, check out the Edward Setup Shop. And, of course, How to Suck at iRacing, the broadcast company that is bringing you this event here tonight. Be sure to check out Doug Burns and the guys. If you need an iRacing event broadcasted, they do some of the best work in the business, and How to Suck at iRacing is definitely the place to go. Doug, a really easy guy to work with, as we are now just 2.5 minutes away from gridding here, Doug. It's been a long weekend, and it is almost go time here. I can't believe it's almost time, Doug.
I know it's been a long run up to this this big night. There's been a lot of excitement. There's been a lot of drama. There's been a lot of really happy drivers and a bunch of very frustrated drivers, as over 100 joined, but only 43 make the field, and that is going to make things very interesting. All these guys, all 43 drivers wanting a piece of that pie. Everybody who completes a first lap gets some money, but you know they want to be up front. They want to win that butt kicker. They want the big payday, and I guarantee you this thing is going to heat up. Things a little bit different than usual tonight. Obviously, we don't have the scrolling stuff across the top due to a glitch with another company, but we are still going to provide the best coverage of this awesome race. Make sure you drop into the comments, whatever platform you're watching on. Cheer on your favorite driver. Let us know who you are cheering for.
Most certainly. And now I'm going to go through the starting grid early because we have a couple things we're going to be doing when we do grid. So here's the starting order for tonight's massive WAL PD 200. Starting on pole position, that is, position number 1 will be Brandon Hoff. On his outside is John Palermo. In third in the 007 will be Jeff Edgar. In fourth in the numbers 8 car will be Tal Etheredge. In 5th in the number 18 will be Austin Edwards. In 6th will be Brett Edgar, the son of Jeff Edgar, who's starting up in 3rd. In 7th will be Lucas Cram. 8th will be John Friley. 9th, Zach Edwards. 10th, Nick Olson. 11th will be Ron Morris Jr. 12th will be Ricky LeDuc. 13th will be Chris Papa. 14th, Ben Burgess. 15th, Matthew Bear. 16th, Joshua Doobie. 17th, Dakota Wilson. 18th, Robert Colgan. 19th, Brett Murphy. And 20th, Zach McDaniel. In 21st will be a former Xcal feature winner, Chase Johnson. 22nd, Andrew Rutherford. 23rd, Sean Andrews. 24th, Connor Rockwood. 25th is going to be Brian Mansfield. 26th, Matthew Eddy. 27th, Corey Tondro. 28th, Joe Campbell. 29th, Kenny Tripp. And 30th, Art Hendren. 31st, Aaron Smith II. 32nd will be Patrick O'Toole. 33rd, CJ Mason. 34th, Stephen Johnson. 35th, Mason Foster, a former Xcal winner. 36th, Edmund Jones. 37th, Alex Krapser. 38th, Mark Feeney. 39th, Jeremiah Burke. And 40th, Patrick Sullivan. In 41st will be Luke Turpin. 42nd will be Derek Dillon, and rounding out our field in 43rd starting position tonight will be Xcal's all-time leader in starts, the Iron Man of Xcal, Derek Colson, as Derek Colson will be starting shotgun on the field, and we are so excited to bring you this event. So things are wrapping up here, and looks like that will wrap up warm-up. So the field is getting ready to get on the grid here, and we just took you through the starting order. By the way, the in-car reporter tonight will be Luke Turpin starting in 40th position. He is the defending Xcal Series champion in 2021, so we figured it was rightfully so that Superman is the in-car reporter, and we will get word with Superman just here in a moment. But the field now is starting to take to the grid on the field, and this time we have Johnny Brancaccio, a longtime Xcal member, one of the guys that really helped out with this massive WellPD event. Johnny B is standing down trackside, and I'm going to send it down to Johnny B for the most famous words in motorsports.
I'd like to wish all you guys good luck, and everybody start your engines.
And there they go, 43 cars come to a fire. Thank you to Johnny B for a fantastic job on the most famous words in motorsports. And always great to have Johnny B up here, and glad he could do that for us here. And now at this time, I'm going to try to dial up the radio of our in-car reporter tonight, Superman himself, Luke Turpin. And let me see, Luke, do you got me? It's Petey up in the broadcast booth.
Yeah, I got you, Petey. What's going on, man?
Well, Luke, you barely snookered your way into the field tonight based on lap time. You're starting from 40th starting position, so tell me, Superman, what's the plan here?
We got to get to the front, man. We're playing with house money tonight. Usually I defend these races, but we were barely getting in tonight, so we're just going to get after it.
And Luke, I got to ask you, you're coming into this race the defending Xcal champion. This is the biggest event in Xcal racing history. Do you feel like there's an extra pressure on your shoulders as the guy with the nickname Superman, the defending champion? Do you think there's extra pressure on you tonight to win this race and really show all these big names what's up?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta show out, you know. Got to get up there and show what I can do. Like I said, usually I'm kind of taking it easy. We're gonna put on a show for you tonight.
All right. Well, Luke, before I let you go catch up with your team and get ready to go racing here quickly, is there any sponsors, crew, teammates you'd like to give a shout out to here?
I want to put a shout out to Matt Bear for running our team and putting this whole deal on to get us in the field, and Aaron for running this whole event. Appreciate you guys on the broadcast too. All
right, that's Luke Turpin. We'll talk to him more throughout the night. That's our in-car reporter. And here we go. Turns 3 and 4. It is time to get the biggest event in esports this night underway here. The massive WoW PD 200. $2,545 on the line. A Butt Kicker Gamer 2 unit on the line. It's been 5 days. 9 prelims, 3 heat races. It has set this field, and it is go time. The iRacing Chevy Silverado pace truck makes that hard left-hand turn into the pits. The field is at the mercy of Brandon Hoff. The starter holds the flag in his hand. He waves it. Green flag in the air, and the massive WoW PD 200 is underway as they come down to you, Doug.
Yep, Brandon Hoff gets a decent jump on the field. We've seen these guys get some decent jumps on the field. It gives him the option to choose his line early on. Looks like he's going to shoot for the middle. Might even let Jeff Edgar drop down to the bottom underneath him. You know Brandon's got a couple of teammates further back in the field as they come out of turn 2, looking back through the field. Everybody, I'm really surprised. We have not seen anybody 3 wide yet. It does look like a little bit of patience tonight. Early on, they've got 100 laps. They know they've got to play this one a little safe. Never mind, 3 wide for the lead already.
Yeah, that didn't last very long. 3 abreast for the top spots. It's Palermo up top, Brandon Hoff, the former pro, in the middle, and Austin Edwards, a 10-time Xcal feature winner, down on the low side. Here they come down to the stripe. Who takes lap number 1? Give it to Palermo on the high side. They did not waste any time to get going 3 wide as they are 3 by 3 by 3, multiple rows deep right now. We did have a little bit of an incident, looks like, on the first lap. Patrick O'Toole has had to come down into the pits. Something happened to O'Toole. We're not sure what happened to the 044. Also worth noting, the 42 of Mark Feeney, that car didn't fire. He was unable to take the green. He is a DNS as that car couldn't get going. But we continue racing 3 wide for the top spots right now as this is already getting dicey here up at the front. But Doug, this is almost like an all-star event of sorts. 2,500 on the line, a Butt Kicker 2, no points to speak of. These guys are trying to flex their muscles here early on.
Yeah, we have seen some craziness in the prelims and the heats, but I guarantee you, it looks like a few guys mid-pack have actually just decided to settle in 2 wide. As long as they're staying in that lead draft, they're playing it pretty safe. But that front group and further back, there's a second group forming, and they're getting 3 wide. Maybe we spoke a little too soon. Kenny Tripp in the middle of that. He was in trouble last night. Several top Xcal drivers. Luke Turpin making his way forward. We've got a wreck out of turn 2. No caution.
Caution is out, and they were 4 wide at the front of the field. They might have wrecked there, as like Doug said, caution is out on the speedway, Doug. I did not catch that accident. Did you see what happened?
It looks like Corey Tondro just got loose, came up the track, and got into several other drivers. Couldn't get a good look at who all was involved in that, but Corey Tondru got loose. He might have been even bumped up there, but he got loose and ended up in the outside wall.
All right, so an incident occurred there, and like you said, it involved Corey Tondro, so a very early caution. This is actually the earliest caution we've had all weekend. We did not have any cautions this early in any of the heats or prelims. And here in the feature event with 42 cars out on the track there, Calamity strikes a little bit early here as these guys may be getting a little bit antsy to get going there, Doug. Doug, do you have the amount of cars involved in that? Because I really did not have that one on my screen at all.
It looked like there was about 3 cars, and I think Joe Campbell and Edmund Jones, both of those drivers have come to pit road. Joe Campbell ended up having to tow as he was coming to pit road. Taking a look real quick to see if the cameraman caught a shot because Joe was coming to pit road and then suddenly stopped and towed, and I'm not sure what's going on. He had heavy right front damage, but he stops at almost at the far end of pit road. Not sure what happened with Joe there. And going to try and get a look at Edmund Jones. It does look like Joe was caught in at least some of that. There were a lot of cars that caught glancing blows on that one, but nothing significant. Trying to find Edmund Jones, see if we can get a look at his car as well. He's on pit road. Right front damage. Shouldn't be too big of a deal, though. He's sitting on pit road getting those manual repairs, but his damage, mostly aero. He could get up to as high as second place, even with that aero damage, I think.
Yeah, now we are going to send it down to our pit road reporter, Ryan Soper, where he caught up with Derek Colson, who was involved in the accident.
I'm here with Derek, and Derek, what happened? What happened in front of you or behind you?
I don't know what happened. Somebody got into the turn 70 up the high side, and I had nowhere for me to go. Just ran right inside of him.
And how's your car driving after that?
Yeah, the front end's destroyed. We'll see what it's got left here. Let's get some repairs done.
Alrighty, thank you, Derek. Back to you, Petey.
All right, thank you, Ryan. And that was words of Derek Colson, who was collecting that. We're hoping to see Derek get back out there, so we're going to put Derek back in with his teammates there. And also involved in that accident, it looks like Aaron Smith was involved in that one, too. So we're sending Ryan Soper down, trying to catch word with Aaron. And Ryan, I think you got similar questions down there for Aaron Smith.
Yes, I do, Petey. Aaron, what happened in this wreck?
Well, it looked like someone went straight going in turn one, then all the cars that were spinning ended up where I was. I tried to keep it locked down, but it just spun back up across the track. I hate that I hit a couple guys up there, but it's unfortunate that we're racing that hard on lap 3.
Do you think your car can keep up with the draft with its damage that it has, or...?
Well, it got up to about 140 by itself, so I have confidence that it'll be able to keep up once I finish a little bit of repairing of the damage, but we'll see.
Alright, best of luck, Aaron, and back to you, Petey.
All right, thank you there, Ryan. Aaron Smith, he was involved in that accident. Hopefully he can get that car back out there without too much problems, as there's a couple guys that were involved in an accident. And, Doug, it's a shame that we're at an accident this early on that collected guys. It looks like Edmund Jones really got the worst of it. He's already 2 laps down on pit road. Derek Colson did get the car back out there. He's only 1 lap down. He actually doesn't look too worse for wear. That car's up to speed. Corey Tondro's out there. That car's a little bit off the pace right now, but he got back out there. He's only 1 lap down. And Patrick O'Toole 1 lap down too, but all those cars will get wave rounds. Xcal Racing gives wave round to the first 3 cars 1 lap down. So actually after that wreck, Doug, the only car that's going to be laps down will be Edmund Jones, who will be 2 laps down. Everyone else will still be on the lead lap though.
Yeah, and all Edmund has to do, I mean, you say he took the brunt of it, but it's really not dramatic enough that it would keep him out. I think he's making sure he gets that car as repaired as possible. He can still, I guarantee we're going to have more incidents throughout this. If he can keep the car clean the rest of the way and stay out of a little bit of trouble, he can make up some ground as well with just those laps back and just keep working on the car throughout the remainder of the race. I think he's still in contention. Maybe not for a win, but he could get up there and pick up a lot of spots before it's all said and done. So, and you know what? Every spot, more money, and it'd be a smart move to stay out there and try. And I think we'll see a lot of damaged cars try and stick it out.
Definitely. I mean, each spot you're gaining more money, and with $2,545 purse, I mean, we're talking about significant gains the more and more spots you gain. So expect these guys to stay out there and try to get that damage fixed. As we're going to go up to the front of the field, though, as I believe we are getting ready to go restart here next time by 1 lap till green. So I'm going to take you back down through an updated top 10 running order. In first position remains Brandon Hoff, the pole sitter. In second is still the outside pole sitter, John Palermo. In third is Zach Edwards, 4th Austin Edwards, 5th Jeff Edgar, 6th Tal Etheredge, 7th Lucas Cram, 8th Ron Morris Jr., 9th Chris Papa, and 10th will be John Friley, as we still have 40 cars on the lead lap out of the 42 that took the green. Corey Tondro 1 laps down, and Edmund Jones still on pit road 3 laps down. It's looking like Edmund Jones might have extensive repairs that we didn't foresee, as that car is still sitting there in the pits not moving. Unfortunate break there for Edmund, who was really looking forward to this race. Here we go down the backstretch though. It is Huff leading. He has Edwards right up on his bumper here. We should be going green this time by. A very early caution in this event. Kind of something we didn't see coming with the way the heats and prelims went. But maybe guys, like Aaron Smith said, getting a little antsy there too early out of the gate. And here we go through turns 3 and 4. The field is in the hands of the iRacing Chevy Silverado pace truck. The pace truck is going to make that hard left-hand turn down into pit lane right now. Or now as we speak. And here we come off turn forward. Field is at the mercy of Brandon Hoff. Hoff leads the field down here, and the flagman holds the green in his hand. And the massive whale Petey 200's back underway as Hoff on the low side gets a great jump.
Yep, down across the line. He's got help from Zach Edwards here. He's really giving him a push. They're trying to set up for whatever line they want to pick here. Meanwhile, mid-pack, it looks like we've got a couple of guys that might be trying to make something happen already. A little bit early. If you have a run on a restart, you obviously want to take advantage of it, and we might even see a few guys that up front, mid-pack, that might drop to the back early on in a run, see if they can make something happen here. Time will tell, but we did see some guys last night that chose to, and we saw it throughout the prelims, a lot of guys dropping right to the back of the pack and far enough back they still had the draft, but they could react to anything that happens in front of them. As they come around back to the line, Matt Bear has made his way up and looking to see who else we got up here. It's 3 wide back behind him, though. Just briefly, there's a car on the high side that looks like he's was trying to drop back, but he actually looks like formed the third line there.
Yeah, and 3 wide for the top spot they go now. Here we go. Lucas Cram gets down to the inside of his teammate Brandon Hoff. 3 abreast now for second as Hoff leads the middle line, none contested. Up top, here comes Zach Edwards. Edwards with a big push from Palermo. Palermo on that top side, giving all the assistance in the world here to that number 19 car. And now the J&S racing machine of Zach Edwards gets the nose ahead. They are dead even for the top spot, 3 lanes deep. And oh my goodness, they're thinking about maybe going 4 wide deeper in the field. They think better of it. I'll tell you what, Doug, these guys are racing really antsy here early on, and I don't know if I necessarily expected to see that this early in the race. I thought we'd see them maybe mind their P's and Q's a little bit more here early on. Also, remember how Luke Turpin started back in 40th position? He's up to 15th.
Yeah, I've noticed Turpin coming up through the field, but you know something else I noticed? The 9 of... who is that? Josh Doobie has hooked up with Dakota Wilson, giving him some massive push there, and those 2 guys are going to be coming to the front here shortly as well. But yeah, Superman, no surprise to see Luke Turpin coming toward the front, and I would not be surprised to see him up at the very front before too terribly much longer. He just works through the draft so well. He knows these cars so well, and he has got a good handle on it. Probably starting at 40th is what he wanted, giving him the opportunity but to make his way forward. But 3 wide all the way to the front, I don't know how he's going to get around anybody right now.
No, we'll have to see how he tries to do it, but focusing back up front, still 3 wide for these top spots. It is Lucas Cram in the top spot right now in that 33 Valvoline machine doing a fine job right here. The third teammate to those guys, Nick Olson. Olson is not up here right now. Olson's actually mired back deeper in the field right now. He's back in 37th, so just the 2 teammates working out front here right now as Cram gets a good push from Hoff. On the high side, Zach Edwards getting a good push from Palermo. They are 3 by 3 by 3. Everyone kind of mind their P's and Q's here, giving space, although almost a 4 wide moment. Connor Rockwood getting a little dicey here in the middle of the pack, and actually now Edwards gets shuffled out of the way. Edwards is going to drop back as he got mired out of the way there. Things are starting to get a little bit tighter up here as we get further up the field. We have 10 laps in the books. We're a 10th of the way into the massive WOW PD 200, and man, these guys are awfully racy here right now, and I'm having a hard time understanding what the reason for going so hard here is. But you know what, Doug? This is like an all-star race of sorts, and these guys might be a little jittery.
Yeah, you know, a lot of these guys just coming to this type of event this week, hopping in here because they wanted to give it a shot. And, you know, we heard a lot of drivers saying, oh man, this is really, really cool. It's an awesome event. I'm looking forward to it. But some of them, you're right, could be nervous, could be a bit overwhelming. In officials, you don't generally have 43 cars on track together. This could be something totally new to everybody.
No, you don't, Doug. You're right. Normally not this many guys involved in the official races. As that time by, 3 wide, Chris Papa out of West Seneca, New York on the low side, trying to make it happen with a lot of help from Tal Etheredge. It was Papa second place by 7/1000ths of a second that time by. A big thing, though, this race is going to require one pit stop to make it on fuel. These guys are going to have to come in down into the pits one time for fuel at least, if not more, if cautions happen and guys want tires. It's going to be curious to see how these pit stops go, how that will cycle out. That really will be the deciding factor in this race. Up front, though, it is Cram in the middle continuing to show the way as these guys are really trying to test some moves out here early on. Still, 39 cars on the lead lap. Looks like Aaron Smith has had to come to pit road. Smith is in pit road. I think he may have lost a motor on the 70 car. That's unfortunate for him, as it looks like he's going to join Edmund Jones now behind the wall. So now 39 cars in the lead lap. Corey Tondro still out there up to speed, 1 lap down.
Yeah, it's there's a slight gap back there behind Luke Turpin. There's a little bit of a gap that Luke currently in 21st as they look 3 and almost 4 wide back there. That little gap back there, Brian Mansfield was one we talked about. He won a prelim race the other night, and I know he's got a lot of fans in the stands tonight. He is one that extremely good in these kind of races, and he is holding back and kind of holding an inside line there. Just playing it safe early, so expect to see him come charging forward, but that gap is a bit of a surprise. It looks like everybody around him is having the same kind of idea, but they were having that idea 3 wide. Probably not the best way to hold back and be a little reserved here early in the race. 15 laps in, you mentioned the green flag, or the pit stops. Hopefully under green flag, and those pit stops could change the entire complexion of the race as Tal Etheredge looked low. Because we have seen in past races, like when Xcal had the All-Star race here, when they come to pit road, if you miss your pit road speed, if you make any mistakes at all, it could end your night, and pit strategy could also end your night. So these guys, I saw a lot of guys in practice, just getting some experience hitting pit road from speed, just making sure, and I know a lot of guys have some spotters out there, so we'll see how it plays out.
This is the massive WOW PD 200, the iRacing event of the year, the eSport event of the week. $2,545 on the line tonight in a Butt Kicker Gamer 2 unit. Thank you so much for joining me, my friends, as you see Edmund Jones rejoin the fray. For a lot of these guys, this is the biggest sim racing event, esport event they have ever been a part of out here tonight, and they are putting on one heck of a show for you, my friend, here early on. So if you're watching the stream here, please let me know down in the comments who you are cheering for. I want to know, who is everyone cheering for out there tonight? What driver are you rooting on? If you don't have one, maybe pick a car or a number you like, or maybe you like someone's name. Just pick a driver. It's a lot more fun when you have someone to cheer for, and let me know who you're cheering for so we can see who has the biggest fan club out here tonight, because it's always fun to see who has that big fan club out there. Up front, Lucas Cram continues to show the way. It's Chris Papa from West Seneca down on the low side. That high side shown by John Palermo, who Palermo said in his pre-race interview, if he can hang out up front, he's just going to keep the car up there, and that's exactly what he's done so far as he hangs on that high line. A lot of pinching going on here. These are some good drivers, though. They know how to do it, but still very early.
Yeah, and I have to say the funniest comment has come in already tonight. Josh Doobie should team up with Matt Baer. Jason Rome said those two should get together. Matt Baer driving the 420 car. So, yeah, Doobie in the 420 car. That one is probably the funniest comment so far tonight. We'll see how they go. We've had some funny ones this weekend. These guys, I'm really surprised to see a lot of movement. That center line seems pretty stable, but the inside and outside lines, you're seeing a lot of weaving. We saw a little bit of it during the prelims and the heats, but usually it was that last few laps. These cars never really planted. This is the legacy version of this track. So this track is pretty bumpy. The suspension on these cars are soft, and you'll see them bounce up and down across bumps, but I'm really surprised to see as much movement as we are. Guys just trying to get some side drafting in as they come down the back straightaway again. These guys are just doing everything they can to find an advantage. I think we're seeing a few guys testing to see what they can do for later in the run. Meanwhile, look at Luke Turpin up to 17th in the lead pack, and you know, he won't be there long. He'll start coming forward. He's got Austin Edwards right beside him as well.
No, and Superman said he's playing with house money tonight, and he plans on letting it all hang out. And actually, Austin Edwards, after starting up in 5th, has dropped back to 19th position. Ryan Soper's down on pit road. He's caught up with the crew chief of Austin Edwards. Ryan, tell us, what's the issue on the Edwards car? Why has he dropped back so much?
Yeah, well, the issue on the car is that they're fighting a pretty tight condition, which means that the car does not turn into the corner as good as they want it to, and that they're going to fix that up on their next pit stop. Back up to you, Petey.
All right, thank you, Ryan. So tight condition there on the Austin Edwards car. Looks like they're going to try to get that worked out by the next pit stop. And, you know, Doug, nothing worse than a tight car to restrictor plate race, because that car, especially around the low side, it just wants to push up and you have to let off the gas. So the Edwards team certainly going to be looking to get that car freed up on their pit stop.
Yeah, and it's interesting. You know, we heard a lot of guys say they want to run the bottom here, but the tire wear is so bad. Austin... And it started to affect the car really quickly. The middle and top lines seem to be the best lines for the tire wear and for the handling. Austin was stuck on the bottom for a while. Looks like he just got a little bit used up there. So at least right side tires. And, you know, they have the other problem of the aero push. They use that air to help get the car draft up to the lead as the 8 of Tal Etheridge getting into the back of the 13 there. They use the draft to suck up, but the other thing it does, in that draft, you don't have any front downforce, especially in a pack this big that's about to be 4 wide up at the front. You do not have any front downforce. The car does not want to turn. It is getting really sketchy at the front.
Yeah, Connor Rockwood not taking it easy right now at all. As I see, we have a big fan club out there tonight for Ricky LeDuc and Andrew Rutherford. So those two fan clubs represented well here. And now Rockwood's going to pull in the line. Thinks better of making it 4 wide here early on. So Rockwood just kind of takes it easy now as this lead pack continues to race dicier and dicey here as they continue to click away laps. We're already approaching the quarter mark of this race, coming up on lap number 22, this time by the flag stand, looking to put 21 in the books. And, you know, Doug, outside of that weird caution we had on lap number 3, things have been very racy here and very interesting. So far, this race has not disappointed. The Massive Whale PD 200, of course, this race brought to you by Buck Kicker. Feel what you've been missing? Use code Xcal20 on buckkicker.com for 20% off your Buck Kicker Gamer 2 device. The Tri-E Ink Cooler Crew. If you need a walk-in cooler built, be sure to hit up Jeff Edgar and the guys down in Florida. Big or small, they build them all. The Tri-E Ink Cooler Crew. As we have a little bit of a breakaway here, as 2 lanes form for the lead here, as the middle of the pack here starts to get a little bit dicey.
Yeah, we have seen this a little bit. If they can get a big enough group single file, and you know, you got those 2 teammates working together right there. If they can get enough single file, get enough side draft, they can pull away. I guarantee you the 34, John Palermo, he worked with this group a little bit yesterday. I think he'll drop back down into line behind the 31 here. We'll have to wait and see. He is still running that high side, even though he's got the gap. So he loves running up top. We'll have to see if he makes the move down. Their teammate is actually starting to make his way up as well. And once he gets up there, Nick Olson currently in 14th back there in the 24 car. Once he gets up there, these 3 cars are going to be very, very tough to beat. Heard a lot of drivers say they're going to be the toughest part of this, because that group really, once they get to the front, they just dominate and control the race. I do know of a few groups of people that were working on strategy today to overcome that 3-car team, and right now, they're only 2. If those 3 get together, we'll see some of that strategy playing out.
All right, up front, the battle for the lead continues on as they are 3 wide in the middle of the pack right now. First car to officially be out of the race, Aaron Smith the second. He is taking it behind the wall. The crew is loading that car into the hauler. Smith is out of it. He will finish in last position tonight, 43rd. Edmund Jones with a lot of damage back out on the racetrack, 12 laps down. 39 cars still remain out there on the lead lap as we currently run, as leading the pack is Lucas Cram, as he has for quite a few laps here. Now jumping up to the high sides, Palermo with help from Chris Papa. I think this is the first time I've seen Papa go to the high side all weekend. He has been a bottom feeder through and through in the prelims and the heat races. Papa now trying his luck on the high side here as Matt Bear makes it dicey in the 420 car, 3 wide in the middle of the pack right there. These guys still jumping and jiving all over the place there in the pack. This time by, they complete 24 laps. Next time by will be a quarter of the way through.
Yeah, and you gotta hand it to Matt Bear. He is making a few moves, but anybody who's watched our broadcast for the regular Xcal season knows that guy does not know what patience is. He is full send all the way around. He is driving pretty smart here tonight, pretty calmly, so we might see, could next season see a different Matt Bear take to the track, be a little bit more calm, and possibly be more dominant. He's definitely learned quite a bit this week throughout the prelims and the heats, but now he is just hanging out on that bottom line. And did hear a lot of drivers say that bottom line seems to be the safest place to be, at least for the first part of the race. Although some of those drivers that have said that to me, they're in the top or going up the middle right now. Who is that on? Is that Rutherford on the bottom starting? Now that is Rockwood on the bottom starting to make his way forward.
All right, Doug. Well, we are a quarter of the way through the event. 25 laps in. We are going to take our first commercial break here out of Suck at iRacing. Do not go anywhere, my friend. We'll be back in just a few moments with a massive whale Petey 200. Welcome back, my friend, to the massive WOW PD 200 as we continue racing here. Under commercial break, we noticed some sort of an issue there. Looks like the Connor Rockwood machine, that 36 car, might have gotten into the wall a little bit. We have Ryan Soper down on pit road with his crew chief. Ryan, what's the issue there with the Rockwood machine?
Yeah, the issue on this car here is that they are concerned after hitting the wall that they got a tire rub. And they're trying to just see how it will affect and if it'll blow or not. And back up to you, Petey.
All right, thank you, Ryan. So, big concern there on the Rockwood machine. We're going to have to see if that tire will hold up until the pit stop. As, you know, Doug, certainly you don't want a tire rub at speeds of 160 miles an hour, because if that thing blows, you're taking a lot of guys with you.
No, you really don't. Although I don't think Rockwood actually got the memo on that. I mean, you'd think he was playing it safe. He's looking to the bottom again on Matt Bear, making it 3 wide into turn 3. Matt really drifts up the track when he finds out there's a car underneath him. Almost got into the car up on the high side. I believe it was Mason Foster up top. And now Matt Bear and Connor Rockwood side by side have a run. Although Rockwood has somewhere to go, Matt Bear really is kind of stuck in the middle. Rockwood going to drift up behind him here. It looks like those two might actually be hooked up for the time being. They've been together for quite a while, so I've got to wonder if they're working together, at least at the moment.
Yeah, Rockwood certainly racing aggressive for having a tire rub here, as up front it continues to be Lucas Cram showing the way. His teammate Brandon Hoff pushes him, and now their other teammate Nick Olson has fought his way up through the pack. Olson now racing side by side for the 5th position right now. He races with, I believe, that is Jeff Edgar in the 007 car. Edgar in the 007 car, by the way, after starting in 3rd, has kind of just quietly hung out in this top 5 all day. I think he's waiting for his son, Brett Edgar, to get up to him. Brett's trying to make his way back up through the field after dropping back early. Brett working with Superman Luke Turpin right now. And, you know, one thing I've noticed here, Doug, as we get later into this run, the 3 wide is kind of really dissipated here. It looks like everyone is kind of content to run 2 wide. I mean, you do have a little 3 wide, but it's not just 3 by 3 by 3 like we saw for a while. It looks like a little bit more tame racing has started to happen here as these guys have kind of gotten to a groove.
Yeah, we knew that, excuse me, we knew that at some point things would settle down. They know they've got to make that pit stop, and, you know, they've got to start planning this out right now. Everybody can make it from lap 50, but some of these guys are working with teams. They've got to start kind of finding their teammates, seeing if they can do anything to help, because they're going to have to come off. They're going to have to go to pit road and come off with some drafting help. And you know what? They've got to start thinking about that early. Spotters are talking to him. Look at the 24, though. He jumps up from the bottom. He has made his way up to the top. He's just trying to get hooked up with his teammates. And these guys at the front, Palermo and Tal Etheridge, they raced with these guys. They know their best bet here is to keep them separated for the time being. And it looks like they're keeping them separated for the moment, but how long that'll last is a big question mark.
Yeah, now on the high side, we have the teammates, too, of Sean Andrew and Mason Foster, the JNS Racing teammates, scream to the high side right now. Those cars starting to make a move up on the high side. And once again, we're going to go down to pit road with Ryan Soper, where he is caught up with actually the JNS team coordinator. And Ryan, tell us, is the plan here for the 23 and 32 of Foster and Andrews to kind of push each other to the front, or are they just trying things out here?
Yeah, well, they didn't give me an exact answer because this race is going on and others might be watching. But they did say they might be trying some things out. They might be going up to the front. Back up to you, Petey.
Thank you, Ryan. So maybe the JNS Racing team looking to get racy here in the early stages. There, of course, they give the vague answer to Ryan, not trying to give their full hand away to anyone watching the broadcast. But that team is getting antsy up there on the high side. Oh, man, that was almost a four-wide moment as Brett Murphy dove out to the high side there. Murphy hangs that car in line right now. And, you know, Doug, I want to mention a name that we haven't said once during this entire broadcast so far. In 29th place right now, Alex Krapser. He is one of the best in Xcal. He always finds ways to sneak his way into victory lane, and right now he is hanging out in the back of the pack right now, but that's a name that, you know, in any Xcal event, if he's in the field at some point during the race, you're going to see him up front.
Yeah, that is definitely true. And this time around, Alex Krapser back there in the Tennifer Gen car, he's got help tonight from some of the best drafting people in the world. This is probably this is the group that we're going to be watching come to the front later on. Alex has came on strong the last half of the Xcal season. He's got great help from Jeremiah Burke, Derek Colson, Brian Mansfield, Robert Colgan. This group, I expect them, they're just staying back there playing it safe. They're just a few seconds behind the lead pack, and they're playing it safe right now, but expect this group to come to the front, and I would not be surprised to see them, any of them, battling for the win before this thing is over.
This is so much fun right now. And I'm going to ask you, my friend, if you're watching this on Facebook, please drop a like and a share. And once again, comment who you're cheering for. We need them fan clubs loud and proud tonight. Let us know who you are representing. Be sure to share so we can get more viewers out there watching your favorite drivers, watching the eSport event of the week and the iRacing event of the year, the Massive Whale PD 200, where $2,545 and a Buck Kicker Gamer 2 unit is on the line. As up front, Doug, it looks like 6 cars have broken away just a smidgen from the rest of the pack.
Yeah, and you notice something that has finally happened. The 24 has Nick Olson has finally gotten, he's trying to get that nose in that middle line. He had it, but that outside line's trying to prevent it. Oh, this might be trouble. Nick Olson has to back out of it. Wow, that got really dicey. These guys know they have to keep Nick away, but that front group is starting to break away just a little bit. If they get single file with all the side-by-side behind them, I guarantee you they're going to start to pull away. The 8-car, Tal Etheridge, he knows he just needs to stay behind this group, and he'll be in good shape.
Wow, that is a very hairy moment right there, but everyone continues on and lives to fight another day, and a moment that could have ended a lot of people's hopes here in the Massive Whale PD 200. They're just going to keep on trucking. So we keep talking about this lead pack. The lead pack is about 26 cars strong, and then you have 2 cars, Dakota Wilson, John Friley, they're the second pack. Then you get back to the third pack, 29th to about 34th with Krapser, Burke, Colson, Mansfield, Colgan, and Burgess. Those cars just riding the line right now, biding their time. And then you get even further back in the field, you have another pack with 35th and 36th, CJ Mason and Daryl Dillon, and those two running with Edmund Jones, who was a lap down, and I believe also in that pack, Corey Tondro, who was laps down. And so you have a 4-car pack there. And then finally you have a 3-car pack with Patrick O'Toole, Art Hendren, and Zach McDaniel. They're kind of just hanging out at the back of the field. And those are all the different packs right now. So we do have a few different packs for me. I wanted to make sure that everyone was aware of where everyone in this field is currently running right now. As here we go, Palermo on the high side fights back once again. He has a big push from Nick Olson. It is just a tame 2-wide, Doug, up front right now, but we are getting closer and closer to pit stops. I think the pit window probably opens up anytime past halfway, obviously. I'd say between 55 and 60 is when you're going to start to see him coming down.
Yeah, definitely. And that early caution, a few drivers came down and got tires during that early caution, and obviously getting some fuel. And those caution laps extend the green flag run even further. So these guys will have a few more laps, and might see some guys try and stretch that fuel, hoping for a caution. Because that first group that comes to pit road, that is going to tell the tale of what's going to happen. When that first group starts down, if they all make it onto pit road safely, great. But if not, if there's not enough communication on the radio, guess what? There's going to be a crash in turn 4, taking out a lot of drivers. So communication between these teams, these groups, are going to have to start. They're probably going to start here before too much longer. Just making sure as the 8 Tal Etheridge really drifting up there. Just a lot of communication has to get started pretty quickly. Especially as big as this lead pack is.
Yeah, now a big push on that outside. Palermo with a lot of help from Nick Olson. Palermo gets his nose ahead of Cram. Cram has led the most laps so far in this thing. He's led about 20 of them here. As here we go, Mason Foster with help from Connor Rockwood in the middle of the pack, making some moves. Foster now just gets caught up in that draft, and he is just trying to hang in line here right now. They continue to click away the laps. Still 39 of the 42 cars that took the green on the lead lap. Once again, Aaron Smith is behind the wall. Extensive damage to that machine. He is out of it. Edmund Jones 12 laps down in 41st, and Corey Tondro 1 lap down in 40th place. And of course, Mark Feeney did not answer the call. He did not make the green flag, as that car had a carburetor issue. And actually, we're down on pit road once again with Ryan Soper. I believe Ryan Soper's in the garage area with the Feeney crew in. Ryan, what was the issue there? Why couldn't they get that car to start at the green flag?
Yeah, well, the issue with the Feeney crew's car is that their engine wasn't fully assembled. I don't know what they were doing, having their engine being assembled so late, but they couldn't make it in time. And yeah, that's the story on that crew, and it's back up to you, Petey.
Quickly too, Ryan, I want to ask you, so did they actually just were they trying to disassemble the engine to maybe get it in better shape for this race, and just at the last minute they just couldn't get it back together in time? Or was it just, maybe someone was messing with them? Do you have any update with that, Ryan?
I think they were deconstructing it because there was, on one of the cylinders, a very bad-looking cylinder head. So I think something was going wrong with that engine.
10-4. Thank you, Ryan, for the update on pit road. Unfortunate break there for Feeney. Doug, they fought all weekend just to make it into this race. They make it into the big event, and then they have a bad cylinder head, and next thing you know, they can't get the engine back in time together for the race. I mean, that's just heartbreaking there, Doug.
It really is. There's a lot of guys that really were competitive all throughout the prelim races, got themselves qualified, got into the heats, and then had problems during the heats. So a bit surprised to see anybody having problems so early in the feature event here, but a bit of a heartbreak for the Feeney crew. And they're still going to get paid, but it's still not what they wanted. It's definitely not the payout they wanted. They wanted that butt kicker and that top purse.
Yeah, so here we go, 40 laps in the books, and update here on our in-car reporter, the 2021 Xcal Racing Series champion, Superman himself, Luke Turpin. He is kind of just starting to hang out right now. He has moved back to 25th after he got up to the top 15. I think he is in fuel conservation mode. And Doug, I can't tell you how many times Luke Turpin has won races, not with his speed, but with his brain. That man multiple times has just calculated the right fuel, saved enough fuel, saved time on pit road. I mean, he is such a precise and calculated driver. Right now he's thinking about this thing possibly going green, and more so than anyone else in the field, he just has something up his sleeve right now that he's working on.
We've joked about it all season long, but there is that scene in Days of Thunder where they're building the car and they talk about the extra fuel line. I've asked him, extra long fuel line, I've asked him multiple times, how long exactly is the fuel line in your car? And he has never given me a straight answer. I'm willing to bet it's 10 to 12 miles long, because that car has stretched fuel further than should be humanly possible more than one time. And I think you're right. He is just back there playing it safe. He has seen some chaos, and he's got himself in a really good position on that bottom line towards the back of the lead pack, but still in the lead draft. He's got some guys he knows he can work with, like Kenny Tripp, like Matt Bear. So he knows he's in a pretty safe, pretty decent place right now. ride it out, save the fuel, and see what he can do with it at the end of the race. Even being able to pit and take 1 to 2 less gallons of fuel when they hit their pit stop, that could be the difference between winning and 10th.
Yeah, now, Doug, here's a driver we have not talked about once so far in this race. Chase Johnson. He started all the way back in 21st. I think he was hanging out around back for a lot of this event so far. Johnson now, though, he has moved up into the top 9th. He is gaining positions. Johnson is on the prowl right now as we go 3 wide up front. Etheredge, he gets underneath the 31 car. He's going underneath Hoff now. Hoff is in the middle. Etheredge down low. Up top, Palermo. And these guys are starting to get a little bit racy here as we get closer to the fuel window. But just quickly, though, Johnson continues to make his march to the field. Also, Andrew Rutherford, who we haven't talked about a whole lot, up from 22nd. He's also up in the top 10, starting to make a charge. So some of these guys that were hanging out at the back of the lead pack starting to make some moves.
Yeah, they really are, and I think you're right. They're seeing that fuel window coming. The further forward they are when it's time to come to pit road, the less chance of getting caught up in somebody else's mess. So they're playing the right strategy, and they know, like the 007 up there, the Edgar car, and several others that are sitting there in that middle line. They've watched this 3-man team, Lucas, Brandon, and Nick Olson. They've seen this 3-man team be pretty dominant, so they know just follow them around, play it a little bit safe right now. Tal Etheridge, though, you got to give that guy credit. He has raced these 3. He's watched their strategy. He's holding that bottom line so that they cannot control it. So they only control one line right now. How long that'll last, who knows? But, man, Tal is sending it single-handedly on the bottom and staying with this group.
Yes, he is, and Tal doing a good job right now. Tal has been impressive all weekend. He's been able to make things happen on that low line. That's been his line all weekend long. And Tal Etheredge really has kind of been one of the emerging stars of the Massive Whale PD 200 weekend, a guy that before this weekend I had never really heard a whole lot about. It was kind of an unknown name to me and a lot of the guys here in the Xcal Racing League. I know he's impressed many, many guys, though, so far, and he might be getting a contract for 2022 before too long. That's the big thing here too, Doug. This is the Massive Whale P200. A lot of these guys never raced Xcal before. There's a lot of Xcal owners with car numbers they haven't filled for the 2022 season. They're watching the Massive Whale PD200 and thinking about some of these guys for maybe getting them in a ride in 2022.
Yeah, and somebody like Tal Etheridge that has been so impressive all weekend long and comes with a 4,000 I rating, that is the kind of guy that an Xcal owner wants to have, because those are the guys that are going to help dominate. As the 24 dropped out of line with his team, he's now behind Tal. Got to wonder about this strategy here. I'm wondering if the team is breaking up just a little bit, maybe trying some different strategies here, but he drops to the bottom. That lets a few guys pull back up into the battle as well. And Ricky LeDuc, that's another name we've only mentioned one time tonight, but Ricky LeDuc started in 12th, dropped outside the top 20 briefly, and LeDuc now up there on the high side, back up in 9th.
All right, well, we're going to quickly take it down to pit road where Ryan Soper is caught up with Lucas Cram's crew chief. Lucas has been leading most of this race, but as we get closer to the pit stops, Ryan, what's the game plan here on the pit stop for the 33 car?
Well, I was told one word and one word only. Valvoline. And what I'm suspecting is that is a code word for probably 2 tires or 4 tires. Fuel. And yeah, that team is being very secretive.
All right. Well, thank you, Ryan, for that update right there. And, teams being secretive, I imagine they weren't going to give Ryan a lot to work with there, but I hope next time they'll give him a little bit more to work with. So up front, it is Cram continuing to lead on that high side. It is Palermo really getting racy there on that high side. Etheredge continues to man the low side by himself. And here we go. Now Mason Foster in that 20 car for the first time in this race. His face emerges in the mix here. And, Doug, I haven't said Mason Foster's name a whole lot tonight, but here he is working his way up into the top 5 for the first time tonight.
Yeah, and it's worth noting Mason Foster got into Xcal not long before the All-Star event and the points race that were back-to-back here. And, those first 2 races, he was trying to impress. He came through the field a bit roughly, ruffled a lot of feathers. But since then, he worked his butt off to earn a lot of respect back. He's showing he's got a ton of speed, and definitely somebody to watch coming into the next season. But these guys might want to watch out for Mason. He knows how to get that car around here, and the support of the J&S team, as many drivers as they've got in the field tonight, he's going to get help at some point.
No doubt about it, and very excited to see how that works out, as up front it continues to be Lucas Cram showing the way. Palermo on the high side. Here we go. Brett Murphy thinks about a daring 4-wide move. Murphy thinks better of it. Murphy slides back into line, so now Murphy will be pushing Palermo. Etheridge has no friends on that low side, and that low side's a line where you really need some friends, because if you don't have any, you're going to drop in a hurry, as now Etheridge does start to drop. He is dropping back further in the pack, as this might become a 2-lane affair if Etheridge can't get some sort of a help. As we go down the backstretch, up front, it is Cram now continuing to show the way, as he has for the majority of the early stages of this race. They come through turns 3 and 4, and as they come off of corner number 4 this time, the flagman, which by the way, our flagman tonight is 2015 Xcal Racing champion Connor Blaze. He shows them the crossbars indicating halfway down, halfway to go, and with that, we're going to take a very brief commercial break. Do not go anywhere. We'll be back in about a matter of a lap or two, folks. Stay tuned on How to Suck at iRacing here with a massive whale PD200. Welcome back, my friend, to coverage here of the Massive Whale PD200 live on How to Suck at iRacing. My name is PD J. Zeller, the voice of this weekend's events. Alongside me, Doug Burns, as we're halfway through the Massive Whale PD200. Things get a little dicey there off the corner. Everyone hangs on. We are quickly approaching the pit stop for this race, and down on pit road, I believe Ryan Soper has caught up with Tal Etheridge's crew as they're getting ready for their pit stop.
Indeed I have, and Tal Etheridge's crew is planning on taking 4 tires, filling the tank full, and they're also experiencing a little bit of tightness, so they want to loosen it up.
All right, thank you, Ryan, for the update there. So Tal's crew trying to get that car a little bit looser through the center of the corner, it sounds like, and Etheridge should be getting a little bit of an adjustment there in the pits. We'll see what happens. Up front, Cram continues to show the way. Cram has dominated this event so far, and I don't know, Doug. I didn't expect anyone to lead. Maybe, I have to guess, he's led probably about 35 of the first 50 laps here. I didn't expect any one car to dominate in that fashion, but at the same time, Doug, he's going to have his work cut out for him as we get deeper into this event, as no one's really trying to lead these laps right now. These aren't the laps that pay.
Definitely not. I think there's a few guys up there that have made a point of just not showing their hand yet. I mean, I know after watching the heats and the prelims, I think Palermo could get a run at any time, and especially with Brett Murphy right behind him. Brett has been pushing like crazy. You see Brett just lifted his back bumper and lifted him off the ground. These guys, and here comes Mason, and it looks like Mason's going to try and make it 3 wide. We might have spoke too soon. Some of these guys looking to start cranking it up. It'll be interesting to see as well. That second and third group back there, once they get connected, are they going to crank it up? Are we going to see a big group come to the front? And, if we do, those guys that hung out about a second off of the lead pack, once they start building steam, it's going to be very, very tough to slow them down. They'll have a massive run. If they use the draft through the field, we've seen it several times this weekend, you could draft all the way from the back of this pack to the front of the pack if you can get the timing right and just go flying by everybody.
Once again, my friend, if you're tuned in right now, please drop down in the comments who you're cheering for. Who's your horse? If you don't have a horse in this race, pick one, a car you like, a favorite paint scheme, number, name you like. And also, if you haven't already, whether you're watching on Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook, please drop a like on the stream and be sure to like us on our respective app that you're watching the stream on. It helps out the channel and it helps Xcal Racing put on more future events like the massive whale PD 200, as this is the esport event of the week, the iRacing event of the year. $2,500 in a butt kicker gamer 2 unit on the line. Want to give a quick shout out here to one of our sponsors, JT's Mobile's Pressure Washing. If you need your scum blasted in the Ohio area, be sure to hit up JT Mobile Pressure Washing, as they do some of the best pressure washing. And of course, Sim Racer Hub, formerly known as Dan Lisa, under new ownership. If you have a sim racing league or just anything you want to keep track of the statistics on, be sure to use Sim Racer Hub, as up front the battle for the lead starts to tighten up. Palermo on the high side, really cram down to the inside right now. Those two really making contact down there right now. One thing I've noticed in the middle of the pack is that the father-son tandem of Brett and Jeff Edgar, they're about 2 cars away from each other. Those two are looking to get hooked up. Let us not forget, in heat race number 1, they finished in first and second, so while there's teammates at the front, we do have a father-son connection that's been pretty strong this weekend too, Doug.
It definitely has, and I think, there's the communication these guys have over the radios, but being able to communicate across a room, that makes a huge, huge difference. These guys, plus, just having that relationship and knowing each other's tones of voice and general demeanor can tell you a lot more than some guy you've only talked to over the radio. That gives those two a distinct advantage. If they get connected, they could come fly. That could be that group that builds the momentum and comes flying by. But I am shocked. Palermo and Cram just door banging out of turn 2 every other lap. Cram has his team right there with him, but man, these two leaning on each other with 44 to go. Big surprise.
All right, well, also update here, this lead group is going to be approaching lap traffic here in not too long. They are quickly catching the 3-car pack of Patrick O'Toole, Art Hendren, and Zach McDaniel. They're catching them about a second a lap, and they're only about 3 or 4 seconds behind that pack. So in a moment here, lap traffic is something this lead pack's going to have to deal with, and I will be curious to see how they handle that. Also, pit stops are getting close to underway here, and we do have another update from Ryan Soper down on pit road. Ryan, there are reports that there's a vibration forming right now in the Josh Doobie 9 car.
Yeah, there is actually, in fact, some vibrations I've heard on the 9 car forming. They don't know if it's a tire. Actually, I've just heard that it is something to do with their gearbox in 4th gear.
All right, thank you, Ryan. Wow, 4th gear, Doug. That is the gear that's the only gear you use here when you're up to race speed. So for Doobie and the 9 team, if there's an issue with that gearbox, they better hope that it has 43 more laps left in it, because if it doesn't, they're in big trouble. You can't run around here without 4th gear. I mean, they'll be going 100 miles an hour on the apron.
Oh, definitely. And if that gear goes out in the middle of the pack, that could be even more problematic. If it goes out wrong, it'll just stop the rear tires and spin the car. And he is up there in 7th place. So if he locks up, man, he's taking out a lot of cars. These guys are going to have to be extremely careful. He's going to have to keep an ear open, and I guarantee you every noise in that car right now is scaring him and making him nervous. And it is worth mentioning, we've asked guys to drop in. We're getting a lot of comments about the teams the drivers are supporting. I have to say, consistently throughout the race, the JNS Racing team does have the biggest fan club out here tonight.
I see a lot for Ricky LeDuc and Andrew Rutherford, too. A lot of fan clubs out here. As here we go, leaders are in lap traffic. They go around Zach McDaniel. McDaniel goes up high. Patrick O'Toole goes up high. They're going to try to maneuver their way around those slow cars right now. And now they're coming up on Art Hendren. Art Hendren going to choose to stay low. Now, where this becomes interesting, Doug, is these cars are naturally just going to catch the draft here. And because of that, they're probably going to hang up with this lead pack. So now that's going to add 3 more cars up to this lead pack, as those cars will probably not going to want to lose too much more time here.
Yeah, and having those lap cars in the lead pack is definitely going to throw a few things for a loop, especially when time comes for pit stops. Some of these guys came out after these guys have come out off of pit road, and they have a little bit more fuel. They might. Oh, it gets really sketchy. The 96 of Connor Rockwood looked like he got a little bit of a bump trying to see, that might have been from the 9 of Josh Doobie, and Rockwood had that thing pretty out of shape, manages to pull it back together and holds on to it. Great save by Rockwood there. Just a testament to the drivers, how good they are. And, you know, we've talked about it over the weekend. This Edwards setup shop the setup has really been built in such a way it's a lot easier to save a car that's way out of shape like that.
Yeah, that is a testament to the Edwards Setup Shop setup, like you said, Doug, there. Once again, the Edwards Setup Shop making the setup. Be sure to check them out on Discord. Setups built by Austin Edwards, one of the best drivers on iRacing. They're absolutely free. If you want, you can donate to him and help out his racing career. The Edwards Setup Shop. Speed happens here. Up front, it is Lucas Cram, though, continuing to show the way. We are 62 laps into this 100-lap affair here, Doug, and this race has only seen one caution on lap number 3. Ever since then, it's been mean, clean, and green, and the racing has stayed intense, though. Seems like the early race jitters got away from these guys, though, after that first incident, as at this point in the race, we do still have 36 cars on the lead lap. 4 cars are 1 lap down. Edmund Jones 12 laps down. Aaron Smith 50 laps down out of the race. And here we go. We have a moment. Andrew Rutherford gets really loose on the door there of Nick Olson. They both save it. That was almost the big one.
It really was. Nick Olson made a real power move. Ricky LeDuc had a huge run coming on the bottom. He had a ton of help. We've seen this team up front try and control the prelims and the heats. It looked like the 24 of Nick Olson was dropping down to try and control it. Looks like he just had a problem coming up off of turn 4, drifts up into the car to the outside. They both get a little sideways. Both of them save it. Now the 24 dropping back down to the bottom. Ricky LeDuc, smart move, just cracking the throttle enough. He stayed in the draft, but if anything had gone wrong, he gave himself a little bit of room to maneuver there. But man, that got really sketchy really quick, and now the 24 is going to come up on the inside and try and pull even with his teammates.
Yeah, and that I think there's a little bit of a rivalry here between the 35 and 24. They've been pinching each other a lot. There has not been a lot of respect given between Rutherford and Olsen here. Those two seem not to be very fond of each other, in my opinion. So we'll have to see if this continues to go down. And Doug, I believe the pit window has opened up here now, though. I think I saw the first car come into the pits, and we did. It was Brett Murphy in the 64, or John Palermo in the 34, rather. And now it does appear this pit cycle has opened up, as we're going to send it down to pit road as he's down there with the outside pole setters team. Ryan Soper, tell us what Palermo's doing on this pit stop.
Palermo, looks like we're going to go 4 tires here, as many people more are pitting. 4 tires here, full of fuel, and we're going to take a round of wedge out.
All right.
Back up to you, Petey.
Thank you, Ryan. Connor Rockwood dives down. Mason Foster, Tal Etheredge, Sean Andrews, and Joe Campbell all come down now. And Doug, we're in the pit window here. This is the one stop of the race. This is the money stop. A speeding penalty will cost you your chance of this race. This is the stop where you need to be perfect. Those calculations need to be correct.
Oh, they definitely do. And, you know, these guys that have their crew chief and spotter out there definitely have an advantage. They can do all those calculations and get to the quickest possible pit stop, the least amount of fuel, and get these guys back out there as quickly as possible. It looks like the leaders are coming to pit road. That 3-car team is coming down, looking to see if anybody stacks up. There is a stack up coming to pit road. Nobody gets turned. Everybody keeps going down pit road, but half the field now coming to pit road as Brett Murphy and Josh Doobie stay out, along with Luke Turpin, Matt Eddy, Zach Edwards, Austin Edwards, and Kenny Tripp. Austin Edwards, you know he is going to stay out as long as possible. He is probably trying to stretch that fuel, and he is one that would know, especially in these type of events, he knows what to do, how to stretch it, and see how long he can make it. Same with Luke Turpin. He could probably go another. It would not surprise me if Luke found a way to make it to the end of the race, to be honest.
That would be pretty crazy there, Doug, but I wouldn't be surprised if he went another 5 to 10 laps. And actually, no, Luke is not going to come down this time. But the 2 leaders do come down. Murphy dives down, Doobie dives down, and actually just about everyone comes down now. I'm going to see who the cars left out there are. You have Turpin all by himself, then Edwards is in second, and then Art Hendrens also hasn't pitted yet, but he is 1 lap down. Zach Edwards has yet to pit, and those are the cars that have kind of not come down into the pits yet. Kenny Tripp dives down into the pits now, and it does appear that only 3 of the leaders have yet to pit. It's Luke Turpin, Austin Edwards, and Zach Edwards. And Doug, out of those cars that haven't pitted, you have 18 of the 30 wins from the last Xcal season still out there on the track, so that kind of tells you what these guys know about the strategy. As this time by, they come by the pit road. Let's see if they come down this time by, and it looks like, no, Superman is going to, nope, Superman dives down, and both the Edwards dive down. This will cycle through the pit stop. Everyone is now into the pits.
And did you see Luke Turpin getting that car woed up for that commitment cone? Man, he was a bit out of shape, but he is Superman. He manages to hold on to it. As these guys start coming off of pit road, this is going to be an extremely dangerous time. We've had people pitting across 5 different laps now, so there is no telling what could happen as cars are coming off pit road, cars are coming up to speed, and anything could really, really happen here. We'll have to wait and see. I was really surprised to see some drivers, the first couple of drivers pitting by themselves, no draft help. Things could be a little bit interesting for a few of these drivers as they come back out.
It certainly could be, and now these guys back out there on the track. There's going to be about 30 to go. We're going to have to see where things cycle through. If my calculations so far are correct, I think the lead's going to cycle through, I think, and this is really rough right now, I'm not positive. Andrew Rutherford is the car I have out in front, but I think that's going to change. I'm not sure how exact that measurement is here right now. We're going to have to see where everyone cycles through. Things are still changing very quickly here right now as this pit cycle is still cycling through. We're going to sat down on pit road, though, to Ryan Soper. What did Luke Turpin, what did Superman do on pit road as we see him leaving?
It looks like Superman did 2 tires and almost full of fuel. Not taking full fuel here. He did tighten it up a bit as he looked like he was fighting some loose conditions.
All right, thank you, Ryan, as Ryan has been doing a good job giving us those updates on pit road all race long. So I think Andrew Rutherford might cycle through to the lead, and let's see. Actually, no. You know who's the leader right now? It is Art Hendren, but he has yet to pit. Art Hendren's the last car that has yet to come down pit road. The first car that did come down pit road, that's the leader, Doug, is Brett Murphy, and Brett Murphy has, well, we'll see. Brett Murphy has a 17-second lead over Andrew Rutherford. I have no idea how he got that big of a lead there, Doug, as Murphy with a massive lead right now. You have to wonder if they got enough fuel in that car.
I think they've got enough fuel. I think from the pit stop times, I think we're seeing the difference between 2 tires and no tires. Based on Brett Murphy's time, I don't think he took any tires. He had a 26-second pit time as Art Hendren comes to pit road. Brett Murphy had a 26-second pit time. Everybody else had 57 or more, indicating at least 2 tires. A lot of guys over a minute, so those are the guys that took 4 tires and fuel. So we'll have to see how the tire strategy and the fuel strategy plays out. But, Brett Murphy's got him in a pack. He's got Matt Bear in front of him to draft off of. And he'll be able to maintain that speed. I don't know if they can catch him. With 31 laps to go, he might have snookered the whole field.
Caution is still very possible with 30 to go. And I have a hard time believing he got enough fuel in that car in that amount of time. I think he's going to need to save right now. I think that's part of his strategy. He's saving fuel. He's riding in the draft of 3 cars, Jeff and Brett Edgar and Matthew Bear right now, and riding in that draft, he's trying to save gas. That's good for him. So here's how the rest of the field cycled through. Second place right now is Andrew Rutherford. Third place is Chase N. Johnson after the pit stops. Chase Johnson, potty train, is up to 3rd. Ricky LeDuc is in 4th. 5th is Steven Johnson, 6th is Luke Turpin, 7th is Matthew Eddy, 8th is Jeff Edgar, 9th is Brett Edgar, and 10th is Matthew Bear, as those are all of the cars currently on the lead lap here. And, Doug, strategy, we talked about that really good team, Brandon Hoff, Lucas Cram, Nick Olson. They're not used to running these Xcal races where strategy comes into play. Some of these other guys are, and it seems like that team just didn't have the strategy figured out, as they are mired a lap down in 15th, 16th, and 19th, as that pit cycle did not go their way.
No, it really did not, and they're not even fully connected. They got Chris Papa with them, and he has been fast, but I think he mentioned strategy earlier in the night when we talked to him, and he struggled with it a little bit as well. I think what you're seeing is a lot of guys that went out there and probably just took as much fuel as possible, just playing it safe, and it's biting a few of these guys. And, you know, it looks like these guys also took 4 tires, so that's going to slow them down as well. Tons of different strategy, but we did see a couple of prelims with cautions around lap 5 or 6. Guys taking a couple of right side tires only, and at the end of those races, they were substantially faster, even on a 25-lap prelim race. So you never know what could play out here with 28 laps to go. And like you said, I mean, we are expecting a bit of trouble before this thing is all said and done. Although the field is spread out, there's not any huge packs anymore. You never know.
And looks like a couple cars had issues. Dakota Wilson, that car is on pit road. That car is having major issues. They can't get that car back out of the track after their pit stops. And there's 33 cars within 1 lap of the leader. And now Tal Etheridge, he's in 40th as Etheridge after racing for the lead for most of this race. And there is smoke pouring out of the hood of that 8 car right now. We're going to send it down to Ryan Soper on pit road. What's the deal with Tal Etheridge?
Deal with Tal Etheridge, he's blown a motor. I think he had contact with another car coming into the pits. He did get a lot of damage, and unfortunately, that's going to end his night tonight.
All right, well, thank you for that update there, Ryan. And Doug, something that just occurred to me, you know what might be the difference in this race right now is, you know, some of those guys pitted on that lap number 3 caution. They got an extra bit of fuel in their car. They were able to go a little further. Guys like Luke Turpin, Chase Johnson, Andrew Rutherford, Brett Murphy, they came in the pits and topped off on fuel. And then when they pitted this time around on the caution, or under green rather, they had to take less fuel than everyone else, saving time on pit road. And, you know, something that seemed so inconsequential is pitting on lap number 3. Right now, that's the difference in this event.
It really is. We saw it play out throughout the Xcal season that little bit of strategy calls that didn't make sense early in a race ended up paying off at the end of the race. And it's worth mentioning, if you're liking these, you can go to the How to Suck at iRacing YouTube channel and see the entire Xcal season play out. Those were some epic races all season long, especially Irwindale Outer. I did not think these guys could go 5 wide around around that track, but they did for a while. Brett Murphy, you mentioned him as being one of the guys that pitted early. He is now up in the lead. I really think he just took enough fuel to go the distance if he could have the draft, and I think he might actually end up pulling this one off with a rather large lead over Rutherford, 19.1 seconds.
Well, this time by 25 to go, 3/4 of the way through the massive Whale PD 200. Fasten your seatbelts, folks. We're just getting started here. $2,500 is on the line. We're going to take our final commercial break. Do not go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back on How to Suck at iRacing.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
And welcome back live, my friend, to the Massive Whale PD 200. My name, PDJ Zeller. Alongside me, Doug Burns and Ryan Soper down on pit road. And actually, we're going to send it down on pit road to Ryan Soper, where there is concerns on the pit box for our leader, Brett Murphy. Ryan, what's the story down there?
This could be huge, Petey. They are concerned about the right rear The tire changer told them that they do not think they got all of the lug nuts tight on that, and there are still some fuel concerns there. And that lug nut not being tight might be causing a vibration.
Well, thank you for that, Ryan. And, well, Doug, we talked about how quick that pit stop was.
Brett's back on pit road.
Okay, so Brett Edgar's back on pit road.
Brett Murphy's back on pit road. He gave up the lead.
Oh, Brett Murphy comes on pit road, and Doug, they must not have got those lug nuts tight. Murphy comes down on pit road, and dang, Doug, it must have been the vibration got too excessive there.
Yeah, it really must. It's something was going on there. I really thought, I was doing the calculations, and I really thought he might be able to stretch it, but obviously not. Just a miscalculation, plus the concern about the right rear tire, and there you have it. Brett Murphy might actually not lose a ton of spots. We'll have to wait and see. He'll only need a splash of gas, so he has already completed, it looks like, his pit stop and working his way back out. A moment ago, Matt Bear had a moment, looked like he just came down the track across somebody's nose, got completely sideways, managed to hold onto the car as well. Andrew Rutherford has now taken the lead. Second place, Chase Johnson is on his bumper. Steven Johnson in third, 18 seconds back though. Luke Turpin in fourth, and Matt Eddy currently in fifth.
So, big story there. Now what this does, Doug, though, is our top two are right on top of each other. You have Andrew Rutherford and Chase Johnson, and now the concern here is, did those two get enough fuel? Did Chase Johnson and Rutherford gamble a little bit too hard, or will both of those cars have enough fuel to go to the finish? But now it's a two-car battle there, Doug, and now up to third is Steven Johnson, and Superman Luke Turpin's in fourth. And I can tell you what, the first car I'm confident that has enough fuel is Luke Turpin. You know he took enough fuel. The question is, did Rutherford and Johnson stretch it a little bit too thin? We're going to have to see.
Yeah, based on stop times, it looks like Luke Turpin took a little bit longer stop than those guys did, but not very much. Same with Steven Johnson, and there's a little bit of a gap between Steven and Luke Turpin. Steven has a little bit bigger draft pack right with him. Lap cars there, but it looks like everybody, I think, the top two can go the distance, but they may run out as they cross the start-finish line. I'm wondering if some of these guys calculated fuel and expecting a late race caution, which obviously 20 laps to go, that could still happen.
Lead change, Chase Johnson takes over the top spot from Andrew Rutherford this time by. So Johnson now to the top spot of the field, and Rutherford is now going to be back to second place. Those two cars in a pack right now with a few cars. John Palermo's in that pack, Nick Olson's in that pack, Joe Campbell, Robert Colgan, Pat Sullivan, Connor Rockwood. That is all the pack with the leaders. Of course, the only two cars in that pack racing for the lead, Andrew Rutherford and Chase Johnson. Third place, all by himself, Steven Johnson, although Steven Johnson not all by himself. He's in a pack with a few other cars. He's in a pack with Patrick O'Toole, Brian Mansfield, Edmund Jones, and Derek Colson. But Steven Johnson, he is right now not in a pack for battle. And then you have Luke Turpin, who is actually all by himself. He has Jeremiah Burke in front of him, but that is it. So Turpin, actually, if he needs to save fuel, that is not good news for him. As meanwhile, up in this lead pack, things are getting a little aggressive right now. We had reports on pit road that the 34 and 24 were rough riding with each other. We're going to send it down to Ryan Soper. What's the story between Palermo and Olson?
Yeah, the story is that the 24 and 34, I saw them coming out of 4. I saw them a couple of laps ago. They got into it. 34 started to get loose. And then they swapped position, and the 34 gave the 24 a shot.
Wow, that is a tough break there. And, wow, very unfortunate there. Joe Campbell gets loose on the apron there a little bit. Campbell hangs on. Under 20 laps to go, and the intensity is starting to ramp up. They're almost 4 wide down the backstretch. Corey Tondro has caught this lead pack right now as all these guys are getting antsy. His fuel mileage is a huge factor here. And, Doug, you know what I'm thinking? Andrew Rutherford looks like he's letting off the gas a little bit. He's letting Chase Johnson get away from him. I'm thinking Rutherford doesn't have enough fuel in that car, and he's starting to save.
You gotta wonder about that, but they've got quite a bit of help drafting there, so we'll have to wait and see. And look at that right in front of him. The 24 is pushing the 34 all over the track, and I can't tell from one lap to the next. Sometimes it looks like the 24 is helping, and sometimes it looks like the 24 is trying to put him into the wall. You've heard a little bit about that rivalry. I know there was some contact and some issues between the heats and the prelims. So you got to wonder if this is cooperation or just trying to. No, the 24 is going to drop to the bottom. They're trying to stay in front of the leaders, but I don't think they're going to be able to for very long here.
Well, here the leaders come off turn 4 once again. It is Chase Johnson continuing to show the way. Oh, sorry, Doug.
Did you just see the shot? The 34 gave the 24. They are. I don't think this is friendly at all. I don't think they're trying to work together. The 34 just hit the 24 so hard you could see the body work move. It was a pretty tough hit, and I think the leaders, Chase Johnson, is going to try and find a way to get past down on the bottom.
Rutherford came into the pits. Andrew Rutherford had to pit. He did not have enough fuel to make it to the end. The drama continues to unfold here in the massive WOW PD 200, and now it is Chase Johnson all by himself, uncontested. If Johnson needs to save fuel, he has the space to do it. Here they come through 3 and 4. Johnson continues to lead. Off the corner, Johnson stays out with 15 laps to go. Chase Johnson in the biggest iRacing event he has ever been a part of, the go-kart racer down from Virginia, continues to lead. Doug Johnson is the son of a late model legend in the state of Virginia. His dad a champion, a national champion of the late models many times. He is the young kid that is a prospect in his racing career, has never raced in a sim racing event like this, and now Johnson leads the massive WOW PD with 15 to go as Palermo and Olsen continue to get aggressive in front of him.
Yeah, and that's got to be making Chase really nervous, although Chase has been in Xcal, and caution!
There is a yellow on the track! This changes everything with 15 laps to go!
Oh, the 454, Luke Turpin just gets into Matthew Eddy. Eddy goes around. It looked like just a racing incident, but right in front of the lead or one of the bigger packs, and now everybody's going to be stacked up together again. A minor incident brings out the late caution. Fuel is out the window. Everything changes.
Everything changes, and that is a rare mistake from Superman. And Doug, that was all Superman. I mean, he just came down, pretty much took Eddie out, and I know it wasn't intentional. Luke thought he was clear, but a very rare miscalculation from one of the most calculated drivers I know.
Yeah, that one comes as a bit of a surprise, but it changed, it flip-flops everything. Some of these drivers will be able to maintain the lead lap, get back to the lead lap. Some guys will be able to get down pit road, top off on fuel. Some guys who are just a lap or two short on fuel, they can stay out and pick up track position. Several different things could play out here, and we're just going to have to watch as Chase Johnson comes around. And look at this. He is getting pushed around the track.
And Luke Turpin has been disqualified, Doug. They are deeming that was intentional. So I guess maybe Turpin was upset there with the number 88. And we're going to try to get a word in here with Superman himself. I know he might be hot right now, but we got to figure out what just happened right there. I mean, this is just craziness here. As we're going to try to get a word with Superman. We are going to try to get a quick word with Superman as long as he is willing to talk with us. I'm dialing in the radio. Luke Turpin, it's Petey in the booth. You got a copy, my friend.
Yeah, I got you, bud.
Luke, can you tell us what happened there? We are a little confused on the disqualification and what happened with the incident between you and Eddie.
Well, it's 100% on me. I just misjudged it. I was literally just trying to tuck in behind him, and usually I'm really good at judging my gaps, and I just misjudged it there. So I totally deserve a black, if not disqualified. It doesn't matter to me. I feel so bad for that guy. I just ruined his race. I just misjudged it. It's on me on that one. I usually don't misjudge it, and that one I did.
All right, Luke, that's pretty much what we were saying. I didn't think it was intentional either. I thought that you just misjudged it by a little bit too. Unfortunate break there. I know you're probably very disheartened right now. But before I do let you go and catch up with your team, I just want to ask you, if that thing went green, how were you feeling about your prospects there? Because we saw the top two have to pit for fuel. Chase Johnson just had to pit under caution for fuel. What do you think your chances in this thing would have been if it were to have gone green?
I mean, first of all, I want to say I really do feel bad for that guy. That's my first statement. But the second statement is I was going to win the thing. I mean, I was good to the end. I just wanted to tuck behind him, and I was in great shape, man. I've ruined my own race, and I've ruined another guy's race. It just bad luck, man. I've had a bad luck week here.
All right, well, Luke, I'm sorry about the luck, and, better luck in 2 weeks at Auto Club.
Thanks, bud.
All right, that is a very disheartened Luke Turpin, and Doug, Superman with a rare blunder.
Yeah, first off, you got to give it to him just owning up to it and apologizing for it. Obviously, fully expect Luke Turpin to be a dominant car, especially in a fuel mileage situation. And he definitely had the advantage there, but obviously I'm still trying to process the fact that Luke Turpin made that mistake. But, another person has come into play that we need to talk about. The Edgars are up front, but look who is sitting in fourth place. 10-time winner this season in Xcal competition, Austin Edwards.
Wow, that caution changed everything. Doug, there's going to be 28 cars on the lead lap when we get this thing restarted. There's going to be 10 to go when we get the green. I don't think we've seen the last caution, Just the feeling I have in my gut. I don't think they wrecked for the last time, Doug.
No, and it's worth noting for the new people watching, at the 5 laps to go, there will be no cautions. No matter what happens, they will go from 5 to go to green per Xcal rules. So once this thing is green, once they hit 5 to go, the drivers hear green, 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 and they go to the end. I think you're right. I think we're going to see some guys that are back there in the 20s. I think we're going to see some of these guys really get a great restart, use that draft, find every hole they can, make every run they can work, and try and charge to the front. But based on this group up here at the front, you got Brett Edgar, Jeff Edgar, Matt Bear, and Austin Edwards. Man, those 4 guys are going to be really tough to get by.
Yeah, those 3 teammates are still a factor here, Doug. Brandon Hoff, Lucas Cram, Nick Olson, they've dominated this race for the most part. They're in 6th, 7th, and 9th right now. They are going to be a factor. Well, that time by 11 to go. Next time by will be 10 laps to go. Here's how they run. On the inside in first position is Brett Edgar. On Brett's outside is his old man, Jeff Edgar, in second. In third will be the Mad Bear, Matthew Bear. In fourth will be 10-time Xcal feature winner from 2021, Austin Edwards. In 5th, in the number 19, will be Zach Edwards. In 6th, in the number 31, will be former Peak Pro Series driver Brandon Hoff. In 7th, in the number 33, will be Lucas Cram. In 8th, in the number 13, will be West Seneca's own Chris Papa. In 9th, in the number 24, will be Nick Olson. And in 10th, will be longtime Class C Street Stock Series contender Connor Rockwood. Oh man, me oh my. 10 laps to go to decide who's going to walk home with a winner share of $2,545. Who's going to take home the Butt Kicker Gamer 2 unit? It is going to go down here, my friend. Do not change the channel. This is what we've been waiting for all week. 10 laps to decide the iRacing event of the year. One of the biggest events in esports, the massive whale Petey 200. The iRacing Chevy Silverado pace truck brings the field off the corner, and it makes that hard left-hand turn to the pits. 2015 Xcal Racing champion, the flagman tonight, Connor Blaze, holds the green flag in his hand, and he drops it, green flag in the air, and Brett Edgar gets going on the low side. Let's see if him and his old man Jeff can get hooked up here, Doug.
Yeah, it looks like Jeff got... Austin Edwards was right there giving Jeff a push right off the start. You see it getting dicey. I think by the time we get off turn 2, we're going to have 3 wide all through the track, as we've already got guys trying to make it 3 wide coming through the middle of 1 and 2. I think we're about to see things get sketchy. Now they just have to make it down to 5 laps to go. And we are 3 wide, and here comes that team. The 31, the 33, and the 24 are hooked up in the middle line. They've just got a couple of cars ahead of them, and they will be clear. We've seen these 3 guys dominate, but they have not had to go toe-to-toe with the Edgars. And Matt Bear gets a little bit loose as he gets up there. Looked like he got a little too much of a push.
Yeah, and things are going to be, they're wrecking. That might be a caution. Here we go. Rockwood goes around. They're going to wreck in the middle of the pack. Now Andrews goes around. Caution will fly. Andrews, oh my That was the hardest wreck I've seen all weekend. Andrews head on at full song into the inside wall, and we are going to have to send the safety crew down there immediately. That was a terrible hit.
Chase Johnson just came down a little bit. Several cars get caught. Oh, my goodness. The 23. Oh, wow. Yeah, they need to get the safety crew down there to check him out. Let's take another look. Connor Rockwood, who was definitely in contention for the win here, it looks like he might be done. It just looks like Chase Johnson lost it a little bit, came down, and then a bunch of guys get collected in that. But, wow, that hit the 23 took. Just brutal. Let's see if we can get another view on it.
Wow, that was a terrifying looking accident right there. And Sean Andrews, he actually got out of the car. They're taking him down to the infield care center. And Andrews down at the infield care center after one of the most terrifying hits we've seen all weekend. Ryan Soper has made his way down to the infield care center where he is catching up with Sean Andrews and seeing how he's doing after that contact.
First of all, I want to ask, are you okay, Sean?
Yeah, I'm fine.
All right, and what do you think happened there with the cars in front? What caused that?
I'm not sure. I just saw a car down low get loose, and then all hell broke loose.
And Sean, I quickly want to chime in here too. I saw you were one lap down. What was the game plan there? Were you kind of just hoping to maybe help one of your teammates get up there and win this thing?
That's exactly what I was going to do.
All right, well, Sean, I'm sure you're very disappointed right now. I'll let you try to get that car repaired. And sorry about the luck, my friend. I hope you have better luck in 2 weeks at Auto Club.
All right, thank you.
All right, that was Sean Andrews, obviously very dejected there after a hard incident. And, yeah, that was just a terrifying-looking accident there. And you know what now, Doug, though? We're going to have a restart inside of 5 laps to go. There will be no more cautions, and it's going to buckle up your seatbelts, squint a little bit, and it's going to be absolute hell breaking loose to decide this thing.
Oh, yeah, it definitely is. You got that team up there Lucas Cram and his crew, Nick Olson, they're up there in the battle, but you got guys like Brett Edgar up there. You got Matt Bear up there. Zach Edwards is up there. Austin Edwards, Chase Johnson, a bunch of the top Xcal drivers out there still in contention for this thing, and some names you've not heard here before that are just still in contention. Andrew Rutherford is another driver. He's been up there battling for it. He's currently in 17th place. He came through that unscathed, so he's going to have a chance. And we haven't talked about him all night, but Ron Morris Jr., and oh no, Ron Morris got a piece of that. He's got heavy damage to the right front, but I think he'll still be at full speed. He may not be able to get the win, but I think he can come to the front as well, and we've seen him run up front all weekend long.
Well, when we get going, there's going to be 30 cars on the lead lap still in contention for this thing, and there's going to be about 5 laps to go when we take the green flag. We'll have to see how this shakes out. And this is all to decide all the marbles. Be sure to check out www.xcalracing.com. But this is it. This is the iRacing event of the year, the eSport event of the week here. It is the Massive Whale PD200. $2,545 on the line, a butt kicker gamer 2 to the window, to the winner, and there will be no more cautions. Green, green, green to the end. Even if they wreck, there will not be a caution in this thing. So here's how they line up. In first position, in the number 82 will be Brett Edgar. In second, in the number 31 will be Brandon Hoff. In third, in the number 420 will be Matthew Bear. In fourth, in the number 33 will be Lucas Cram. In fifth, in the 007 will be Jeff Edgar. In sixth, in the number 19 will be Zach Edwards. In seventh, in the number 24 will be Nick Olson. In eighth, in the number 18 will be Austin Edwards. In ninth, in the number 13 will be Chris Papa. And rounding out the top 10, first time we've said his name all night, will be the number 16 of Patrick Sullivan. Hold your breath, folks. 5 laps to go to decide the eSport event of the week, the Massive Whale PD 200. It's going to be Brett Edgar on the inside with help from Matthew Bear, and his father, Jeff Edgar, will be the next car in line on that inside. But at this point in the race, your friends are where you can find them. If your teammates aren't there, you just got to work with whoever's there. On the high side, it'll be that potent teammate combination of Brandon Hoff and Lucas Cram. Let's see what they can do. The next car behind them is Zach Edwards. They come through 3 and 4. The iRacing Chevy Silverado pace truck, for the final time tonight, leads them off of corner number 4. That pace truck makes that hard left-hand turn into the pits. The field is at the mercy of Brett Edgar. They come down creeping at 70 miles an hour to the flag stand. The flag waves. Brett Edgar gets on the gas. Green flag on the air. 5 laps. Hold your seats, folks. This is about to get out of hand.
It almost got out of hand before the green ever dropped. There's a couple of drivers at the back trying to get a run. Mason Foster jumps to the high side. As soon as momentum's up, he is charging forward. It's already 3 wide up at the front. And
Bear.
And Matt Bear is going.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Doug, but Matt Bear made the move of the race so far. He took it 3 wide in the first corner and cut everyone else off. Bear to the front, and now Jeff Edgar dives down low. Edgar to the inside now. They are 3 abreast. It is Jeff Edgar to the inside now of Matt Bear. Matt Bear in the middle. Up top, it is Brandon Hoff with help from Zach Edwards. They are all racing right here in the middle of the pack. It's Jeff Edgar and Matthew Bear racing for the top spot. And Jeff with 4 laps, Doug with 4 laps to go. It's going to be Matthew Bear leading. They get so tight in the tri-oval.
There was a lot of leaning on each other. I guarantee you some guys got some bumps there. But the interesting thing, that 3-car team is broken up for the minute. They cannot get together. They're doing everything they can to get some sort of advantage. Lucas Cram, currently the fastest of those 3, but don't expect this to last very long. So much bumping and banging down the front straightaway. I don't know how many more laps they can do this. And Matt Bear is getting one heck of a push. Coming down the back straightaway, Matt Bear comes through 3 and 4. He's trying to get the nose. Here comes Brett Edgar on the bottom. They're going to make it 4 wide here. Matt Bear is trying to hold on. Matt Bear comes down. We're going to have another wreck right at the front. A big one. No caution will come out.
Yeah, no caution will fly. We are still racing back to the flag, folks. Here it is. Here's who made it through. Up front, it's Brandon Hoff. In second, it's Lucas Cram. Chris Papa in third. And now Joe Campbell. First time we've said his name. But actually, Campbell, I believe, is laps down. No, Campbell's in this. Campbell's on the lead lap. Kenny Tripp and Andrew Rutherford. It is 6 cars in contention here at the end. But all these guys need to work this out. They cannot let Cram and Hoff just push each other away. Here they come down into corners 3 and 4. It is Campbell on the inside with help from Kenny Tripp. Those are the 2 Xcal guys in the mix-up here. Campbell up in third. Here they come off of corner number 4. The starter holds the popsicle sticks up in the air, Doug, and it is 2 laps to go, and it's 2-car tandems. You have 3 2-car tandems working together.
Yeah, this won't be long. They will be 3 wide, 2 deep, and a lot of guys just got a major heartbreak here, but these 6 drivers, it's still going to come down to them before this is all said and done. There are still guys racing further back in the pack that came through that unscathed or minimal damage, and they're still running. We haven't talked about Ben Burgess, who's in 7th, Connor Rockwood in 8th, Brian Mansfield comes through in 9th, Steven Johnson in 10th. These guys are still battling for more money. And here comes the 63 of Joe Campbell, J&S Racing. Down to the bottom, he's going to do it alone. No, Kenny Tripp drops down to the bottom. He is going to help out his Xcal Racing League teammate, and they are going to come charging forward from the bottom.
Here they come, white flag in the air, $2,500 in a butt kicker. Lionel Papa gets turned into the wall. It's a 5-horse duel. It is still Brandon Hoff leading, Cram in second, Joe Campbell in third. Can they challenge the teammates right now? The teammates are hooked up and battling here for the top spot. Let's see how this plays out. And if they do stay hooked up, when and where does Cram pull out? Does Cram try to challenge his teammate? Tripp in 4th, Campbell in 3rd. Campbell gets down to the inside. Let's see what Joe Campbell does here. Campbell gets a good run off the corner. Campbell uses the side draft here. They're coming coming off of corner number 4, back to the start-finish line. Who's it gonna be? It is Hoff out in front. I don't think Hoff's gonna get challenged, and it is going to be Hoff winning, as I think Nick Olson just set a pick for his teammates. That was kind of a dirty move there from Nick Olson. I am not gonna lie. Actually, that was Josh Doobie. I do apologize. That looked like the 24 of Nick Olson. That was actually Josh Olson's, not a teammate there. I don't know what Doobie was doing there. I thought that was Olson when they came up on the Valvoline car. I do apologize there. But Doobie actually ended up causing a change in that finish. But Brandon Hoff wins the massive Whale PD 200. Lucas Cram in second. Joe Campbell is in third. Fourth is Kenny Tripp. And fifth is Andrew Rutherford.
Yeah, and it looks like Kenny Tripp was trying to find somewhere to go, tried to get down in there. When he bumped into the 33, it just gets into Joe. Fortunately, Joe manages to keep that car going the right way. He's going to pull off a third-place finish, but it looked like he was building a bit of a run for a possible second-place finish. Regardless of that, what a battle there at the end. The 35 has just come up and... it looks like there might be a little bit of arguing there, but the 31 of Brandon Hoff pulling off the win here. He's got to be happy about that. And what a wild, wild finish to that race. Restart with 5 to go, a lap into that, a big one on the front straightaway, and then a 6-car battle, then a car gets dumped, Papa gets dumped, and a 5-car battle, and then just a wild, wild finish.
All right, so we are going to quickly try to get some words in here with some of our top finishers in this race, and I have actually already made my way down on pit road, and I am down here on pit road with the third-place finisher tonight, Joe Campbell. And Joe, I got to ask you, when all that mayhem ensued and there was only 6 cars left standing, what was going through your brain there?
Woo! All out. That's all it was. I was not lifting. We're looking back. It was go time. Oh man. So I gotta thank Xcal first and foremost for putting on this event, man.
And Joe, I want to ask you, coming there in corners number 3 and 4 on the last lap, you were on the inside. Did you think you were maybe going to have a shot to win that thing out of turn number 4? Or did you know it was going to be tough with those 2 teammates hooked up on the high side?
I knew it was going to be tough, but I was getting an awesome run into the corner, and I was hoping if I could push up a little bit that I'd be able to carry it. Wasn't quite enough, but you know what? We put all we had into it. I got to thank all the drivers from J&S, every one of them. The guys that were out were here spotting for me, giving me all the eyes in the world to know what was going on.
And Joe, I gotta ask you, this is your best career finish in an Xcal event, 3rd place, and it comes in the biggest Xcal event of them all. I mean, you've been part of Xcal racing for quite some time now, so for you, just how great does it feel to get such a great podium finish in the biggest race in Xcal history?
It is amazing. I gotta tell you, I think I woke the whole neighborhood up.
I'm sure you did, Joe. And Joe, before I let you go celebrate with your team, I'm sure you want to go have a party with those J&S guys right now. Who do you got to thank, though? Sponsors, crew, teammates on that number 63 ride.
I'd like to thank BRG, Brown Resources Group. Big part of this ride, making it how it is. I'd like to thank, again, all the drivers at J&S, Gerald, Alex, Sean, Mason, Zach, Albert, Ryan. I think I'm missing one or two. I can't even think of them all right now. Also, again, Xcal Racing, Aaron Hillbush, Petey. Big thank you to Doug Burns for all the broadcasting he does for us.
All right, well, that was your 3rd place finisher, a very ecstatic Joe Campbell after picking up a podium finish here tonight. Now a little bit further down pit road, I believe Doug Burns is caught up with the 2nd place finisher, Lucas Cram.
Hey, Lucas, first off, congratulations, man. That was definitely a wild finish, and you almost got caught in that big wreck with 4 to go. Lucas, you're muted, buddy. Oh, there you go.
There we go. Sorry. Yeah, it was pretty wild. Just trying to hang on there. Decided to kind of jump down the bottom lane to try to get a run down there with the fresher tires. It wasn't quite as slow as it was the course for run, and it just kind of worked out. I noticed some guy in the middle was trying to make it 4 wide, and about happened a lap before, and then finally they made contact, and luckily I was just right place, right time. I was able to get through, and so was Brandon up there, my teammate, was able to get through, and we were able to kind of sit together until the finish there.
Now, we were wondering, with about 1 to go, were you going to try and make a move on Brandon, or was the strategy all along, as long as one of you won, that was all that mattered?
Yeah, I definitely wasn't going to do anything too aggressive. Obviously I would have liked to have won, but with those other guys challenging us, it was just, honestly, it was kind of impossible to even make a move. They kind of had us surrounded to box in, bottom and high side. So I was just committed to pushing Brandon at that point, making sure we try to at least get a win, if not finish 1-2, which luckily we were able to do. And it worked out there, kind of taking a little conservatively, but making sure that we, came across the finish line, but also as long as we were able to, get out of it with a decent finish and hope for the win, it was perfect for us.
Yeah, and it looked like you almost got caught in that incident coming to the line. You got a little bit of a tap, but managed to hold on to the car. Were at any point there, as you came to the line, were you concerned that your race was about to go backwards?
I didn't have any idea that was going to happen until it happened, so no, not really, honestly, because the 63 down there, he was kind of pinching, trying to get a run on us, and I had no idea that Nick, actually, ironically, was the guy up there just getting, or the 9 car, excuse me, was the car up there getting lapped, actually, this whole time, but then the car on my outside, swerved to try to miss him, but I was pushing Brandon, I couldn't even see through him, and I didn't know that guy was even up there, so luckily it didn't kill me at all. We just kind of able to keep it straight and all those guys off.
Well, man, it was a great run, a great weekend for you and your team. Any team or sponsors or anybody you'd like to thank tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. A huge shout out to Brandon and Nick. Obviously, worked together all race long, and that fuel thing kind of almost threw us out of the chance of the win, but luckily that caution came out, and we just kind of able to get back to the front. So huge shout out to them, Equipment Sport teammates. Huge shout out to the Valvoline E-Racer, all the guys who are partners on our team. Huge shout out to everybody, put the event on. It was a last-second entry, and definitely made the commitment on it, and it was a really fun event. So huge shout out to you guys for the broadcast, and that was an awesome race.
All right, man. Congratulations. Go celebrate with your team, buddy.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, and Doug, I'm down here in Victory Lane. The K2 sauce and champagne is flying. Brandon Hoff is out of the car celebrating with his team. Brandon Hoff taking home the winning share of the $2,545 purse, and also now gets a Butt Kicker Gamer 2 unit. Brandon, I got to ask you, when you saw that big wreck coming with about 3 laps to go, you had your teammate behind you. What was going through your brain? Did you think you had what it take to hold the field off, or did you think those other cars behind were going to get to you and make it tough?
I honestly, I saw the wreck happening, and my mind just kind of went all over the place, because I'm thinking, am I in the right line? I'm thinking these guys are going to come up the track, and I'm going to be screwed. But by the time I looked to my left, it was all gone, and I saw Lucas behind me. And then we had, I think, 2 or 3 other cars. And, man, I don't know. That whole last restart, I missed a shift there going from 3rd to 4th. Lucas gave me a good shove, and then I got put 3. And then I was forced to the outside, and I'm thinking all night, it was working for whoever was in the 34. I know he was up there for a while, like at the beginning of the race. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, well, if I do this right and time this right, I should be able to maybe pull out in front of whoever was in the middle lane. And it did work out. I don't know who was pushing me, but that was a good push. Really helped me miss that wreck, because if I was even with the rest of the lines, I probably would have been caught up in it, and I wouldn't be sitting here right now. But man, what a race. I mean, for the most part, it was a really, really clean race. Just was trying to work with my teammates and everything. We had a strategy coming in, kind of just stay to the front as long as we were all starting up front. And it worked out to really perfection until that pit stop. And then, that caution at the end, I was a little nervous because I didn't know who was going to pit and who wasn't going to pit, what line we were going to be in, how we were going to get back to where we were. But, it all just kind of worked out perfect. And, I'm pretty stoked right now. That was stressful at the end, but I'm glad to take home the victory.
Yeah, Brandon, I got to ask you, I know you're a driver that's been in a lot of big races on iRacing over the years. You're a premier competitor on the simulation, and you've won some pretty big races, but taking home the butt kicker, which, by the way, Brandon, just quickly, do you already have a butt kicker, or will this be your first butt kicker?
No, man, I have none of that stuff. I got a rig but I don't have a butt kicker.
Well, now you're going to have motion vibrations to that rig, too, with your brand new Butt Kicker 2 unit, and you're taking home the winning share of the $2,500 purse. I got to ask you, how does this rack up against some of your bigger wins on this iRacing simulation?
It ranks up there, that's for sure. I know I've been in a couple big races, as you said. You know, I used to be in the Coke Series way back then. I've run pro races and everything. I've run special events, finished up front. You know, Podium 500. I qualified up there earlier this year. You know, I can go on and on. I've been on the service for over 10 years now, so it's been a long time. And winning an event like this is really cool. Especially, with all the prizes on the line. And, really, the competition was really, really good today. I mean, even though we were able to stay up front, really good competition. These guys really did a good job most of the race. I know it kind of fell apart at the end, but for the most part, man, that was fun. And, I would say this is definitely up there in my accomplishments for wins on the sim.
All right, well, the inaugural winner of the Massive Well PD200, you can add that to your resume now. And I knew I recognized your name. I used to be one of the announcers in the Coke Series back in the day. But it's very cool to have you winning this race, Brandon, and we're proud to have you representing Xcal as the inaugural winner of the Massive Well PD200. Before I let you go celebrate with your team this great victory for you, sponsors, crew, who do you want to give shout-outs to here in Victory Lane?
I got to start by thanking Lucas and Nick, my teammates. They tremendous help tonight. We all stuck together, as I said, and it worked out to perfection. It didn't work out for Nick as well, unfortunately. He was in the big wreck at the end, but me and Lucas at the front there, 1-2. Couldn't ask for anything better. I got to thank everybody at Clearman Sport. They, like I said last night in the heat, we got big things coming up. Can't wait for that. I got to thank my partners of Valvoline, iRacer. A lot of good things going on there, too. Hope I made them happy tonight. I got to thank you guys for the broadcast. Got to thank Xcal. I'm really stoked right now. And I don't know, it takes a while for me to realize things and for things to sink in usually, but this is a pretty cool event to win. So I'm pretty happy right now.
All right, well, once again, congratulations on behalf of myself, the Vice President of Xcal. I know Aaron Hilbush, the President, will be congratulating you later. We hope to see you in more Xcal events in the future, Brandon, and congratulations, the 2021 inaugural champion of the Massive Well PD200.
All right, I appreciate it, man. Thanks.
All right, that's Brandon Hoff, the winner tonight. And, Doug, that race lived up to its billing. The esport event of the year, the iRacing event of the year, the Massive Well PD200. And in the end, it's the former peak driver, of course, Brandon Hoff, taking home the checkered flag as he seemed pretty emotional in victory lane.
Yeah, I think that team worked really, really well together all weekend, and they were going to make sure one of them got to victory lane. They obviously end up with a 1-2. Brandon obviously quite happy about it, and the upgrade to his rig, I'm sure, with the butt kicker is going to be nice. A little bit of cash never helps or never hurts either. So, congratulations to and all these guys that came out tonight. They're going to get some money. So, a huge, huge event. A great crowd in attendance. It was definitely an epic, fun night.
It certainly was, and I want to send it one last time down to Ryan Soper on pit road. And Ryan, thank you so much for your work down on pit road, and good luck to you racing in the 2022 Xcal racing season. You did a really good job tonight, Ryan.
Well, I thank you. I tried my hardest. It was a bit stressful at times, but yeah, thank you.
That was Ryan Soper down on pit road. And yes, that will pretty much wrap up the inaugural running of the 2021 Massive Well PD200. When the checkered flag waved and the dust settled, it was Brandon Hoff taking home the winning share of $2,545 in the Butt Kicker Gamer 2. On behalf of myself, PDJ Zeller, the voice of this weekend's events and the Vice President of Xcal Racing, on behalf of Doug Burns and everyone at How to Suck at iRacing, they do such a great job. Thank you, Doug. This would not be possible without you and your work over there. Doug did a fine job all weekend. Thank you to Ryan Soper down on pit road for doing a great job all night. On behalf of Aaron Hilbush, the President of Xcal Racing, who makes these races possible. And last but most certainly not least, on behalf of Brandon Hoff, the champion of tonight's event, thank you for tuning in, my friend. We will see you in 2022 with more Xcal racing action. Don't go anywhere, my friend. Next year promises to be this, but just every week for 30 straight weeks. We'll see you soon, friend.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.